back to a Gematria of Tech News with Zachary K.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Friday, September 13th. Hope you had a good day yesterday. Looking to another good day today. And again, if you haven't tuned in recent days, we're switching up the way we do calls. We're taking calls at the beginning of the show and the end. But once I get to the baseball decoding, I'm not going to pick up the phone. Just to keep it fluid so we can get through the picks in efficient time. So calls at the beginning and end. So if you want to call in, the time is now while we're doing the review. I'll let you know when I'm cutting off the calls, and then I'll let you know when the line's back open. As per usual, let's start off with some review. It was a good day in baseball yesterday. The Mets won 11-1, that big New York number. New York won 11 the day before. They won with 9 runs and 11 hits on September 11th. And what we saw yesterday in that game, let me see. Do I got up yesterday's notes? Hold on. Let me get to yesterday's notes. We saw the head-to-head record, or the Diamondbacks away record falling to 39-39 all-time. Made a whole lot of sense in New York. New York equals 39. So does Arizona. So, again, bolding the information that should really catch your eyes. Big New York numbers, and you get an 11-1 score. So it only seemed fitting. Yankees, we liked them to win both yesterday to even it up 3-3 with the Tigers on the 33-date numerology. Tigers 33, New York 33. Yankees got that 44th away win. Detroit 44. Caller?
Hey, you were on the money yesterday with that noticing what happened with Verlander against the next opponent because the Athletics won.
Well, it had mostly to do with also Homer Bailey, too, because it just seemed like such a perfect ritual for Homer Bailey.
Yeah, but the past couple of days I've noticed a couple things. So that 58 that went on with the FIBA thing, I was noticing someone had done artwork and they were saying like Twin Towers equals 58, Donald Rumsfeld equals 58, George Bush was 58, things like that. I have to double check. But that would definitely fit. The other thing was with the
okay, sorry, man. I even forgot the Verlander piece. How we were talking about how it makes so much sense for him to get his 223rd win against the Rangers, the old Bush team, because he took that picture with the Bushes after the World Series, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's just been like since 9/11, like that day, and then yesterday, there was so many of these rituals going on in terms of they're almost like layups, I want to say, because we basically saw what was going on with yesterday's game of Verlander, and then you found out, or you pulled up the World Series image with him getting the first pitch thrown to him when Bush was in the wheelchair.
Right.
And when you even go and look at like the Bush funeral story, he invites a whole bunch of Hall of Fame players, and he has it all mentioned things like Nolan Ryan play with the Houston Astros, and then in parentheses, and lesser teams.
Uh-huh.
So all of these players that had played for the Rangers or other teams are all considered and the lesser teams.
Huh.
So that stood out to me. And then when I started digging into it more, the 41 really stands out. So Verlander's next win is 19. 19 equals 41.
Okay.
It'll be career win 223 at Minute Maid Park equals 223.
Right.
Against the Texas Rangers equals 74. It's going to be on September 17th. That's 74 days from Bush 41's death anniversary. And it will be in the Lone Star Series. That's what it's called when they play the
Didn't we see that the game was 74 days from W's birthday as well?
I think you put the 18th.
Well, then it would be a 74th day of his age. It would be a span of 74 days if it ends up being September.
Yeah, but either way, it connects big time.
Yeah.
And so Lone Star Series is 179, the 41st prime. And there was like a few other things that I had noticed with it. So, I'm trying to pull my notes. So, in terms of the like the Skull and Bones stuff, that ties into it as well because Skull and Bones is 41. It's a home game. Home is 41. It's going to be a rigged game. Rigged is 41. There's the famous story of Babe Ruth handing George Bush his manuscript when he was playing for Yale baseball.
Uh-huh.
Ruth equals 41.
Huh.
So then in terms of just like the George W. Bush numbers, so George H.W. Bush equals 138, 66, and 51. Houston Astros is 51. The game is in Texas, equals 66. It's against the Texas Rangers, equals 52. President equals 52. Lone Star Series is 62, and then 99 to 46 prime. Sacrifice is 46 and 62. Houston, Texas is also 46 and 62. Bush 41, when you just put the numbers, is 27. And it has 38 and 27 day numerology that day, like how George H.W. Bush is 138.
Right.
And Bush 41 was 27.
Right.
And then I just want to add another thing. So last night, the Cebu Lions played, and they were going against the Lot Marines. And they went into the game 8-7 in the head-to-head. They improved to 9-7. Today is 25-day numerology, 97 to 25th prime.
Right.
They had a score of 6-1. Today is 61-day numerology. And the team, the Lot Marines, they picked up their 34th away loss on 34-day numerology.
Awesome.
So I think there might be some easy games in Japan next year. And, well, the season's almost over, so we might have like another couple that we could squeak out, but it's just something to think about.
Yeah, good observation. There's always
All
more.
Right.
All right, take care, man.
Thanks. I just wanted to add that about Bush.
All right, appreciate it. Okay, so yeah, the Yankees had a doubleheader. They won both yesterday. That's what we were expecting. The Brewers looked good to beat the Marlins. Marlins picked up the 24th loss versus the NL Central. Or the Marlins picked up the 24th loss versus the NL Central on the 24-date numerology. The Royals beat the White Sox. We saw that through the head-to-head record. The strongest riddle there was the Kansas City becoming 3-5 in Chicago because Chicago's 35.
Sorry, I forgot one last thing.
Yeah.
So that was the first loss by Verlander against the Athletics since August 27th, 2013.
Huh.
That is 2,207 days ago.
Crazy.
Or prior to that day.
Crazy. Nice work, man.
Yeah, and then that game, he also let up 3 earned runs.
Interesting. So deja vu.
All right, just wanted to add that.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Caller?
Hey, good morning, Zach.
Good morning.
I just tuned in. I heard you guys talking about those Texas Rangers, man. You know, that score was almost 7-4 yesterday.
Did you win on the Athletics yesterday?
On the Athletics? No, I'm talking about the Rangers.
Oh, well, that conversation was from the because we were talking about yesterday how we like the Athletics to beat the Astros because it made so much sense for Verlander to get his 223rd win in his next start against the Rangers, the Bush team, because they're the 3-2-2. That's what we talked. Yeah.
But that 74-74 connection that you were waiting on for days.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it hit, and then the score. It was 5-1 in like the third inning, and then it got 5-4. And I was thinking they're going to try to make this score 7-4. They're going to try to do it, and it got 6-4. It got to 6-4 in like the 8th inning or something. And I was thinking they're going to make this score 7-4. How fucking obvious is that going to be? Where the score is 7-4, the win-loss column is 7-4.
Sure.
I mean, it was almost that, but I think they just caught themselves and said, "Oh, this is going to be way too obvious."
Well, it could be that Rangers also equals 46, and you had to score to 4 of 6, so that it does make sense in terms of the teams that were playing.
Oh, 4-6.
Yes, so that makes some sense.
Man, but yesterday that was another awesome read yesterday. I mean, the way that the games came together, Zach. I mean, even the Cubs, like you said, the Cubs and the Red Sox, bro, the fucking Red Sox, 77-70.
You didn't take that Athletics game though?
I didn't take the Athletics. I don't. That game is just so that series is so up and down for me with the Athletics.
I was loving the Homer Bailey riddle, man. That was the big payout yesterday.
Oh, I missed it.
I told it to the truck driver last night too. He didn't want to take it either.
You had on that Boston Red Sox with that guy called in right after you said, "Oh, there might be something with the 77 and 70."
Right.
And then that guy called in like a second after you said that and said that the owner's 70th birthday was was yesterday and he's turned 70.
Right. And then the Red Sox win was 7.
Yeah, it was unreal. And then the time here, like you said, the time of the game was 7:07 Eastern time.
Right.
I mean, you know what? It's just mockery.
It is, man. It is. Appreciate it, brother. Keep up the great work. All right, take care. Caller? Caller? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, Zach?
Yeah. How's it going, man?
You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Having a hard time here.
Huh. I hear you fine.
Shit. Why is it so low? Huh.
Well, just go for it. I can hear you.
The headphone thing. You there?
Yeah, I hear you. Just go for it. We hear you fine.
Wow, it's still really, I can barely hear you. But, man, I got a Super Bowl riddle.
Okay.
Shit. So, yeah, I was all over that age, man. I was all over that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that looked good to me. I was loving that riddle both ways.
When I saw that 3-2 score, I felt pretty good, too. Houston equals 32, so I'm like, yeah, that's probably what they're going to keep it at.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
So, yeah, man, last night, I noticed, and I was I know you guys, a caller called in the other day, said he was having a hard time with the splits.
Right.
I do see that the splits were coming up.
Okay.
Like on the players, on the Football Reference.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was able to find those, but last night that looked like a Super Bowl riddle with Jameson Winston.
Okay.
So, that game yesterday was 144 days from the Super Bowl, right?
Right.
Drew Brees equals 144.
Right.
That was the first win, and I think it had been, prior to that game, Jameson Winston had lost 12 games on the road, right?
Right.
So now he's won out of his last 13 games on the road. If you go back to 2016, that's when he won his last road game. I sent you a picture of that score. Look at the score of that game.
What?
It was
Yeah.
at Qualcomm Stadium against the Chargers.
Oh, that was okay. That's very interesting. Yeah, 1,012 days is a lot like 112 because Thursday night
That's
football is
right.
112.
It's also a span of 1,013 days. Drew Brees, what's his full name? Because I'm driving. I think it's Drew Andrew Brees.
Let me look it up.
Equals 112, and it equals 113 when you flip the alphabet around.
Huh.
Look at the score. 28 plus 21 is 49. Super Bowl equals 49. Super Bowl equals 112, just like the days.
Right.
1,012 days. For a
Right.
span of 1,013.
Right. And Thursday night
You
football.
got records of those teams. In that game, could be a coincidence, but it made the Chargers 5-7, championship number, and it made the Bucs the reflection of that, 7-5.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great
So
point.
that was definitely a Super Bowl riddle because it was 144 games from the Super Bowl, and then you go back to Jameson Winston's last road win was 1,012 days ago.
Right. Yeah, you're right. And of course the Saints play in the same division, so.
So yeah, I think there's more to what the Johnny the golfer. He's been on that riddle, so I think he's definitely on to something with that.
Yeah, if it's about Drew Brees this year, the in-your-face riddle would be to play his old team, the Chargers. So.
All right, man, I'm going to get off. I can hardly hear anything you're saying, man.
All right. Thanks for the call. Great
See you,
observations. All right, take care. So I didn't catch that Winston's last road win was the Chargers. I got to go back and look at that. Remember, it was 2016 at San Diego. This was it. Yeah, so it was San Diego, huh? 28-21, December 4th, 2016. He hadn't won on the road since then. We did see that yesterday in the live stream that it was 1,012 days later. And we said, Thursday night football is 112. Caller?
Hey, morning, Zach.
Good morning.
So yeah, I definitely listened to you yesterday. Another good day. Oakland, great money line price. So I hit a couple parlays with that.
Awesome, man.
And the Phillies came through last night, which is big.
You must have taken the Cubs, right? The Cubs look like the best pick of the day.
Oh yeah, of course. That was early. That was the only game that I bet earlier.
Right. Very good.
Yeah, so I've been listening to you as best as I can, and then molding it with what I think is going to happen. But just to bring something to your attention, for the World Series, so I'm looking at the schedule now, and just the way the Major League got it set up. Okay, so obviously Philly's fighting with Washington, Milwaukee, Arizona, and the Mets.
Right.
For that last wild card spot.
Right.
Now they set up the Braves playing Washington.
Right.
Okay, and they have St. Louis playing Milwaukee. So that's going to be a tough series. All the teams that are fighting with the Phillies for position have a horrible matchup, except for the Cubs. They're playing the Pirates. But every other team is locked up in a tough series, and like I said, the Cardinals have 7 of their last 10 games are against the Cubs.
Right. Right.
So that Phillies thing is looking great. And from a bettor's perspective, yesterday I was checking the Phillies. Yesterday were paying out to win the World Series. $100 would have paid you $20,000.
200 to 1.
Yeah, but that's over now. They won yesterday and went all the way back to 5,000, Zach. I was like, oh, shit.
Wow, that's a major change.
Major change. Yeah, so something happened. I guess maybe yesterday might have been a change of course kind of game or something like that. But I just wanted to let you know the schedule is favoring the Phillies right now, too. So.
And that wild card day is 10-1, 101, Philadelphia 101. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Good work. Appreciate it.
All right. Another good day, Zach. Thank you.
Take care, man. And then the Cardinals at the Rockies. Notice the Cardinals stayed on 38 away losses. What do we know about Colorado in 38? Colorado equals 38, 38th state, 38 all the time. Cubs yesterday, Yu Darvish got his 63rd career win. Cubs equals 63, Padres equals 63. The day before, the Cubs-Padres game was all about 63. And again, just to repeat a point I've said 1,000 times, when you see a pattern hit in a series, a number, a pattern, and you see it come up in another game in the same series, you better be going with that pattern because it almost always stays on the number that comes up for the series. So 63 2 days in a row, 2 big W's. And of course, 63 connects both teams, which is a great sign as well. By the Pirates beating the Giants became 2-5 versus the Pirates. Giants 25, SF 25. So, numbers that always show up with the Giants. The Yankees again swept the Tigers yesterday, got to 3-3 against them on the year on the 33 date. New York 33, Tigers 33, and got the 44th away win. Detroit 44, so that was all there. Caller?
Hey, good morning, Zach.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is Shady from Charlotte, man. I just want to congratulate you on yesterday. I hit both games yesterday, Cubs and Oakland.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
And I kind of was hesitant on the Oakland game until that caller called in, the truck driver. And then it kind of made me check the game.
Why? How did his call help you? Because he didn't even take the pick. He was like, I think I'm just going to...
He didn't take it, but what it did was you kind of went back and was telling him how Oakland had a good shot. And you said the 31... and then the 2-2-3, and then I noticed, I kind of waited, so I was watching the game. They had 1 run in the first inning, and then 2 in the third. So that's 31. One in the first, 1 in the third.
Yeah.
And that's when I played in the live bet. Once I saw that, it was sitting on 3-1 till like the 8th inning.
I see. Houston.
And I was like, man, it's over for this. So
yeah.
That live betting, man, is just, once you know this information, it's just you have to stay on there and just stay active because you can catch some bands on the live bet.
Of course. Yeah. All right. Good work, man.
No problem, man. Have a good one today.
Can't believe you guys were doubting my Homer Bailey riddle. Wasn't that riddle too good that he would win and then become 14-8 against Kansas City? I mean, that just makes too much sense. It's his old team. Kansas City's 148. Phillies won 9-5 yesterday. Braves is 95. Phillies had the better date numerology riddle. The only concern was what the head-to-head record would have been at the conclusion of this series, but like we said, they got more games to play this year. And Philly's got this narrative that they're supposed to be places. Dodgers picked up the 95th win and 39th away win. Baltimore 95. Orioles 39. That was too good. Nationals gave the Twins the 57th loss and 33rd home loss. Nationals equals 57 and 33. Again, surface level stuff just right there. And the Rangers did get to 74 and 74. Texas Rangers 74, Tampa Bay Rays 74. And then the Athletics was the Homer, Bailey, Riddle, and Verlander, making more sense that his 223rd win would come against the Rangers, as we talked about yesterday. And then Reds beat the Mariners 11-5. They stayed on 44 away losses in Seattle and got that 28th win. Seattle's 28 and 44, so a pretty logical away record for playing in Seattle. They won 11-5, 11 the fifth prime. And just a reminder, the Mariners had a new guy pitch yesterday. He got called up, his first major league start. Doesn't look like he got the loss. He only pitched .2 innings, though, huh? But his name was 61, and those are the kind of things that make you go, could the Mariners get their 61st win of the season today? Well, they didn't. And that's why I try to fade the pitcher name Gematria because it seems to be more misleading than helpful. Caller?
Hey, what up, Zach?
What's up, man?
Yeah, another good day yesterday for everybody. You guys are talking about that wild card spot, and I don't know if you remember the other day, I made that point about on the day leaving 115 days, the Cardinals won in that game 10-1, like 101.
Right.
So I definitely do believe that Philly's going to make it into that wild card, and usually like those wild card story teams usually make it to the World Series.
Right.
There's been a couple of those in past years, but in the beginning of the year, my favorite with all the research I did, I thought the Brewers were a lock, but then the other day, Chrissy Yelich broke his kneecap, so that was okay, well, there's no way they're going to make it now.
Again, I want to make the point about that. I think that was a ritual. I don't know if he really got injured or if it's a fake injury, but what I find interesting is Yelich equals 100 like Milwaukee. It's the 100th NFL season, and that injury came 83 days before Rodgers' birthday, Aaron Rodgers, and football's 83. Yeah. I think there's some cross-sport riddle there.
Yeah, so I was looking ahead, actually, at the upcoming schedule for all those teams in that wild card race, and, the Brewers had the easiest schedule out of all of them. But they still won yesterday, so I don't know. Maybe they can still pull it out and get a chance without him. But yeah, 101. The score was 10-1 on that date, leaving 115. It's they're gonna probably play the Cardinals, and the Cardinals are one of the hottest teams in the National League. So I mean, I don't know. But then that other caller made that point about the Super Bowl with the Brady and playing the Chargers, and that was actually one of my other two reads. I had that, and I had the Kansas City and Packers read based on the deaths and all that. But that actually makes a lot of sense too with Breeze playing against the Chargers. And remember, week one, the combined score was 54 in that Chargers game.
Right.
So maybe something to keep an eye on with this Rams and Saints game this weekend is if the Saints win and the combined score is 54, that would be a clear read. Hey, so Chargers won the first week with a combined score of 54. Maybe they do it this week with the Saints.
Well, and remember that game was on the 251st day of the year, the 54th prime, and Los Angeles Chargers is 100, and when you write out 100, it equals 54. So, yeah, the Chargers and the Saints is a Super Bowl scenario we've been talking about for a while if it's all about Drew Brees. So. Yeah.
And, you made some good observation on the fantasy last night, too. That was awesome how you did that. And with Kamara in this game, I'm just gonna say this for anybody that's doing fantasy this weekend. It's 52 days or his 53rd day of his age, and he's playing in Los Angeles.
Great observation. Yep.
Los Angeles is 53. So you made that.
And hey, what's his jersey number? What's his jersey number?
His jersey number is 41.
And how's that connect to LA?
Oh yeah, 14.
No, LA's 14 and 41.
Oh, LA's 14 and 41. That's right. Wow. So yeah, I think that's something for us to look at and build upon too. Is we can also look into winners that way. If a player is going to have a good game, most likely their team's going to have a good game. I mean, you found it out with Peyton Barber, and he was playing in North Carolina 77. So that's definitely something I'm looking into today because I'm doing a bunch of the players for this weekend. So.
Right, yeah, take this. That's why I teach it to you guys, because you guys, there's a whole bunch of you out there. I can only do so much in a day. It takes time to do this, but if there's a game you're real into, run the numbers on the player, measure the birthday, see the synchronicities. It's there. It's there week after week.
A lot of us callers, and a lot of us followers and listeners of you, we don't just sit here and want you to make the picks for us. Like, you show us what to do, we do the research, we make the decisions. You know, we don't just be like, oh, here, give us a handout, Zach. Tell us what to do, Zach. Like, give us the pick, Zach. No,
Right.
like, all those trolls in the comments, man, like, dude, they're all stupid. They need to just do the work themselves.
Well, but seriously, look at the troll effort. There's a group of them on every single post within moments of the post. That is called an operation.
Jesus.
That's
Yeah.
an operation right there.
It's really getting annoying, man.
They are some really pathetic people down there. Yeah, they are. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, hey, I look forward to the stream today. All right. So,
All right.
keep up the good work.
All right, will do. Take care, man.
All right.
Yeah, so if you guys did watch the football live stream yesterday, it really did look like a straightaway read for the Panthers. They had all the good numbers, but then I as soon as I saw that story about how Cam Newton was going for his 8th straight loss, I was like, oh, God, that could be the stat right there that breaks it all. So I got that information out, and then we talked about how the spread was 6.5 points. You got a 6-date numerology. We said, looks like they might not cover. I could see a 6-point game, and what was the difference in the game? 6 points. Bucks did win, and Cam Newton's losing streak did go to 8. So that's the thing. You got to look. Sometimes there's a stat out there hanging that can trump all things because that might be the narrative. And again, the NFL is a QB-driven league, so the QB narrative will usually trump other narratives. The name Cam also equals 8, and he got his 8th straight loss. Caller?
Hey, Zach.
What's up, man?
I like your buddy teasing you. Your buddy teased the hell out of me.
Hey, did you end up taking... Oh, yeah, he's here today, too, man. He's here.
No, he all right, man. Sure, man. Make me stronger. He all right. Hey, you right by Houston, man.
I told you, man. You called for a good pick. I gave you one.
Man, I tell you the problem is, though. I can't stay focused like I want to. I'll be off a week and a half, though, on my birthday. So I'll be home every day. If I can get better. I'll probably get better this week.
You will. Happy birthday, by the way. When's your birthday?
On the 18th, man. On the 18th.
Okay, 10 days after my mom. Happy birthday.
Hey, I got a question for you. Thank you very much, sir. I got a question for you. You go to college today?
We'll look at the college games today. Yes, we will.
Okay, no problem. Hey, your buddy cool, though. You all right, Zach.
All right.
Hey,
Appreciate it, man.
Keep moaning every day. Keep moaning every day.
Will do. All right. Take care, man.
Y'all take care. You too.
All right, have a good one. Let's see.
Oh, man.
I love that guy. He's on the road traveling and listening to the live stream all at once. All right, so this Bucks-Panthers game, it was all about Cam getting that 8th straight loss. We also saw that it was 1,012 days from the last time that Winston won on the road. Thursday Night Football is 112. Remember, if you have a number like that, 1,012, if there's a 0 in the middle of the number, you can just get rid of the 0. So 1,012 in numerology is 112, Thursday Night Football. And it is very interesting that his last road win was against San Diego because, again, this was a division game in the NFC South where the Saints are. And we've been talking for at least a couple months about, could we see a Saints-Chargers Super Bowl? Because, again, that would just put it in everyone's face, the ultimate Drew Brees tribute. Drew Brees equals 54, New Orleans 54, not San Diego, Los Angeles Chargers 100. So anyway, these are things to think about, and this is the purpose of having this knowledge. It allows you to see what they're doing. Think of the league as an interconnected web of riddles, leading you to what the final outcome is in the biggest game of the year. Caller?
Hey, Zach, it's Gary.
What's up, man?
Hey, man. Yeah, no, just to follow up with last caller that was talking about the trolls. Yeah, it's funny watching every single day. And I'll let you get back to your picks. It's funny every single day. These guys that are commenting on your page, I honestly, I don't think it's an operation. These guys just reading what they say, like the Daily Picks only guy. It's just some of the things he says. It's just stupid. It doesn't make sense. My thought process is it's some guy probably in his 20s, early to mid 20s, not very smart, incredibly jealous. I've been messing with him for the past 60 hours now. And in the past 60 hours, you've added 68 people. And I've been doing the math at his goofy ass, $15 a month. He'd be well above $1,000 if he pulled in those views and those patrons. So he's pretty jealous. It's just funny making fun of them. So you keep doing what you're doing, man. There's a lot of us here watching you and believing your work. And
well, here, I'll tell you something though, Gary. That guy Sports Gematria, he's been trolling me since 2015 nonstop, and not just him, but a group of people. And a lot of the people here have different account names, but they're the same trolls that have hung around my blog for years. I mean, you have to think about it. Who sits on a Patreon for 24/7, 365 like they do and posts around the clock? You can leave a post at 3 in the morning. You could leave a post at 12 in the afternoon, 5 in the morning, 5 p.m. They'll be on that post within 5 seconds. Doesn't matter what hour of the day, what day of the week. That's an operation, man.
Yeah, and I agree. It is very weird. The whole situation's weird. If it is an operation, they pick some dumbasses.
Of course they do. Who else is going to do that job? You have to think about who they're going to hire. Gary, you got to do some reading, man. You haven't seen the stories they've even put out in the media about how they hire, teens and 20-some-year-olds to troll people. These are operations, man.
That's a good point. He's probably getting paid pretty good, but I bet you he's
yeah, it's a job. Nobody sits on somebody's Patreon page all day and just trolls all day, every single day, and has no life. And there's a group of them that do it. Notice how when one of them posts a comment, it's liked 5 times. And you know what I noticed? Patreon might even be part of this. Because last night what I noticed is I would look at the troll comments and I would have a heart on every single one of their comments. And I'm like, whoa, I'm not giving these comments likes. Why are they getting likes from me? I'm not giving any of these comments likes. So, yeah, something's going on, man.
Yeah. The big thing with it, I think the intelligent people that follow this work and follow your work, they see it. People see it. Obviously, nobody's falling for it. You're continuously, generating.
Oh, no.
followers.
Some people are impacted by it. Some people are impacted by the trolls. Absolutely, they do serve a purpose, and they do affect some people. So there's people who've left the page because they can't stand the trolling, and they've let me know that. So.
Yeah. No, I got you, man. Well, I'm here to stay. I'll be part of the $20 tier here. I'll help support you. So
appreciate that, brother.
Making fun of you guys. So, all right.
All right, keep up the good work. Thanks, man.
All right, brother. You too. Take care.
Caller?
Hey, Zach, I just wanted to touch base again. Sorry. Thank you for letting me call again. But, you're right. These trolls are an operation because they attack you and attack your work in such uncredible ways. It's just lies.
Well, it is, but they keep track of everything, because that's the thing, that they keep track of everything, and they try to use the information as a weapon. Like last night I saw Martin Brown was trying to argue with the trolls, and one of the trolls was like, oh, you're sticking up for Zach? Zach threw you under the bus and was talking all this shit about you in just a few days ago's video. And that's not true, but what I did say is, Martin, who's a great caller and does great research, he was really going to me toe-to-toe on that Seahawks-Bengals game because of the all-time stat, and I was telling him, Martin, man, those all-time stats, they can really line up, but they almost always don't hit. And I was just making that point. But I wasn't talking shit or throwing him under the bus. I was just giving a reference point from something that happened this week and just letting people know Martin Brown, he's a veteran of this work and he does research. But sometimes it's better to just stay with the regular season and surface-level riddles. So.
See, and you're right about that, Zach, because these trolls, the trolls, they remember everything. Because I remember one time I told you this about a year ago, man. I had made a comment on one of your YouTube videos, and I had commented that I was a mailman, and I put it up there.
Exactly, man. Exactly. They are taking tabs. They're listening.
This was 2017. I did this.
Right.
And then, like a year later, I was defending you against the trolls. A year later, the guy said, "You work at the post office." I couldn't fucking believe it. He remembered exactly what the hell I said a year ago on your page, on your YouTube video, and you remember exactly what the hell I did, and I said it one time a year ago. So you're right.
Well, see, I know, man, because this is exactly how it is, and they've done this to a lot of people. So Gary called in a minute ago saying he doesn't think it's an operation. Gary doesn't have a clue, honestly. And I love you, Gary, but you don't have a clue, man. These guys are taking notes on everything. This is their job, to study and divide and to talk shit and to lie and distort everything. This is what they do every single day. Sorry, there's no troll in the world that just sits on somebody's page literally all out. And sometimes it makes me wonder, like, is it a team of people using an account? Because they're literally there all hours every single day, no exceptions. I mean, holidays, everything. So
I think it's the Alphabet Boys. That's what I think.
I do too. That's why I always say, are you guys all in a room in Quantico? Because I really do think that it is. I think it's the Alphabet Boys too. Exactly. I think they're all in a little laboratory together, and this is their operation to monitor Zachary K. Hubbard. So,
Zach, keep up the fight, brother.
yeah, we'll do. Take care, man. Caller,
People using an account.
what's up?
Zach,
Yeah,
how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right, man.
Good, man. I hope you are. As always, thank you for your work. But while we're talking about trolls, right? I've been one of your biggest supporters for 4 years. And my name is Andrew Liberato. That's my real name. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm not afraid. I participate nearly every day in your baseball decode.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's good. It's good to be brave.
So while this is being said, though, while we're talking about trolls, we're going to talk about the trolls that are on our side, allegedly. We're going to talk about the troll who runs a Facebook page called Daily Dose of Gematria 24 hours a day. We're going to talk about how that troll has a substance abuse problem and how that when he calls, it's clear that he's drunk all the time. And so then when somebody sticks up for someone else and says, you know what, man, you shouldn't act that way. That's not the right way to represent Zach and to represent the work we do. And then that person bans me from any sort of YouTube video and any sort of discussion. So yesterday I couldn't participate in the football. I haven't been able to participate in baseball. And that's because that troll has been called out for being racist, because that troll is racist, and that troll is using racist comments and racist innuendos when representing you and your work, Zach. That you have to strongly think about who represents you.
Well, I didn't know he was. I didn't know he was using racism. Are you saying he blocked you in the chat?
Oh yeah. So I was blocked yesterday. I couldn't. When I said hello yesterday, the other day, to everybody in the TFR chat, and was instantly blocked by him. He told me he did it, so I knew he did it, and it's because he recognized me from a previous comment where I told him he should lay off the trolling, because he is a troll who trolls people's videos and leaves mile-long comments over and over again.
Well, what I've asked him multiple times is to just stay out of drama, because I know he likes to get involved in drama all the time, and he's always texting me with the latest drama. So, yeah. What's your YouTube account so I can unban it? I'm sorry.
It's my name. It's my name.
All right, I'll look it up and unban it. So I apologize.
Here's the important part. Here's the part I think is most important. It doesn't matter how we feel about a troll, right? We already know what they are. If we know the skin color and ethnicity of this person, there is no need to leave comments where we code 42 and 59 into these comments of an African American person. No matter whether they're trolling or not, whether we hate them or anything like that, we are better than that, Zach. This is our opportunity to shine. You know what I mean?
I didn't know that was going on, so I appreciate you giving me the heads up. I'm going to talk to him about that, and if it continues, well, something's going to have to be done. But so there are some things that really bother me about Rich, because like every day he's just like focused on drama, and I'm like, dude, I do not care about drama. I'm focused on doing this work. I don't want to hear about drama all the time. I don't care about a troll and blah, 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 because his mind is just always on that. But I do know, it does seem that he wants to share the work and help people learn about this. I don't know if he always does the best job of representing the work like you're saying, but I'm gonna look into the racist thing and talk to him about that. So appreciate the heads up.
Just as always, Zach, I thank you for your work, man. Amazing.
All right, thanks, man. Take care. Yeah. And, I know that Rich is going through a tough time too, so maybe he's stressed out, but I'll figure out what's up with that. So anyway, you guys, let's wrap up the calls. Let's get to the decode. We're almost 40 minutes in, and we haven't hit any of the baseball games yet, so let's move through this. But I do want to just say, if you watched last night's live stream before the game, we were on Panthers to not cover. So that was winning advice. We saw how the delay was synced up with the number 77, which clued us into the running back, Barber for the Bucs. It was 77 days after his birthday. We said it looks like he's going to be a key contributor in this game. He had a touchdown, and he also contributed on a big defensive play, a safety. So he had some big runs to put away the game. Here, let me take one last call here because this person's been trying to call in. What's up, man?
What up? That last caller sounded like Gary Greenberg.
I don't know.
You didn't think so, Zach?
I don't remember what his voice sounds like.
Oh my God. Woo, go back and look.
Okay, I'll have to go back and listen.
Wow.
It's been a minute.
Wow. And anyways, are you gonna do the Wake Forest, North Carolina?
Is that football today?
Yep, ESPN.
I will.
Yep. Okay, that's all I wanted.
Hey, what are your thoughts about Thursday Night Football?
Thursday Night Football equals 95. Cam Newton went 9-5.
It also equals 257, the 55th prime, and he got his 55th regular season loss.
Yep, Thursday equals 55. He played on Fox next. Winston going in 9-18 on Fox. Fox equals 9-18. Tampa Bay Buccaneers equals 62. Ron Rivera got his 62nd loss.
All time, yeah, he did get his 62nd all time. That's true.
Yep. The next game Carolina plays in State Farm Stadium. State Farm Stadium equals 190. Carolina State on 190 wins.
Yeah, those are some good observations. The 40 is the number that almost always comes through on Thursday Night Football. So, that's just the one thing. I'm just thinking, man, I just know 40 plays more than all of them, but it didn't last night. So I guess it was more about and they really did shame Cam Newton with the outfit he wore in and just the way he played. And I mean, how do you not sneak the ball with Cam Newton when you need a half yard for a first down to win the game? So.
Yeah, well, what I did is I covered my bet when I got an alert from your Patreon. So then I just researched it again and I dug in more. I was like, wow. Then I live bet, and it was crazy because when Tampa Bay was winning, they was underdogs in the live bet. I'm like, oh yes.
Yeah. It looked like Carolina was not going to cover because of the date numerology. So.
But Zach, the thing I'm thinking now, man, since gambling's almost legal everywhere, because seriously, even you said it, the Decode was straight North Carolina to me. Like, you get what I'm saying?
All the key variables were there for the Panthers to win. But like we looked at the pregame, and 80-some% of the money was on the Panthers. So that's why, again, you got to watch that pregame up to game time and place your bet at the last minute because they're almost always going to go against the public.
You remember I told you that? Remember I said it last week? Remember? I say, Zach, man, we got to start. Can you watch the pregame for me? And you did.
We've been doing it for like the last. I think we've been doing it for like 9 months. So.
Yeah. So it tells us every time. It's like for everybody to make money, you got to like really watch the pregame show and really just pay attention because they give it to you every time.
Yeah, well, when I say in pregame, I'm talking about that website that shows you where the money is in real time. We saw that over 80% was on the Carolina to cover, so I was like, it's looking like they're not going to cover. The date numerology is there, plus all the money's on the other side.
Yeah, well, the pregame show was talking about it too. Remember that? What's the name losing 8 home games?
Once I saw that stat, I said, I know that one.
Yeah, the 8-19, 2019, as you talked about.
They love to punk a home crowd. Something we're going to keep track of this year is the home and away records on each respective night. So Thursday Night Football right now, it's 0-2 for home teams. Monday Night Football, it's 2-0 for home teams. Sunday night's 1-0. So you got to keep track of that throughout the season because it's riddles too. So, all right, appreciate it, man.
Yep. All right, man. Have a good day.
Take care. All right, last caller, and then we're going to Decode. Caller?
Hi, Zach.
Yeah.
I know you're hitting up 8 bar right now, but I was hoping to just clarify a few things for a specific game this Sunday for football, if that's okay.
Sure.
So Arizona and Ravens. I decoded like pretty much everything, all the players, went through them all, and I noticed Michael Crabtree has a lot of synergy, like so crazy synergy with that game. He even has 54 receptions and 54 career touchdowns going through that game, and he was a former Raven last year, which is interesting. And then, you got Crabtree, 36, Alex, his middle name's 15, Michael is 33, 39, Kyle Murray has 39 days since his B-Day. Murray also is 33, 39. Also, Michael Crabtree's birthday is the 14th, so this Saturday, which was would be one day, which Kyle Murray is number one. So it's all Michael Out, Crabtree Jr. with his full name. It all points to that Crabtree having a huge night or a game-winning touchdown. I don't know what. But,
I don't think is he playing for the Cardinals now?
Yeah, he plays for the Cardinals.
I don't think they're gonna win because it looks like Lamar Jackson will be 8-1 after this game. He played for the Louisville Cardinals. Cardinals equals 81. He can get to 8-1 in the regular season. So, but Crabtree could have a good game. Yeah, those are good observations.
Yeah. Also, I get a reading of 94. I don't know if that means anything.
I'll have to look at it, but yeah, I like Lamar Jackson at 8-1 versus the Cardinals. I think that's just straight away. So, all right, all right, appreciate it, man.
Do you think would you be able to just provide like maybe the top scoring player for each game, maybe?
Well, yeah, we can do that when we do the NFL live stream. Look through the position players, but again, I'm putting this knowledge in your hands because I mean, each week for me to go through baseball every single day, college football, NFL. I mean, there's only so many hours a day. It takes time to decode stuff. So.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Take care, man. All right. I'm turning off the phone for a minute. We're gonna do the decode, and we'll open it up for calls again at the end. But make sure you're turning in and paying attention to the live streams because it was nothing but winning information given out in the live stream prior to the game. I was leaning Panthers, but I saw them not to cover. Not to cover was the winning bet. All right. MLB today. Let's do it. So, looking for our best games. Pirates at the Cubs. Cubs playing for the playoffs. Phillies cheering for the Pirates. And consider that because I'm taking one more call, you guys, because this person's been calling in too. All right, last call. Caller?
Yeah, hello?
What's up?
Yeah, Jack, I know I usually pay the per spread line, but I wanted to ask you a question. What is the money line? What does that mean?
Money line?
Yeah.
If you bet money line, then you don't have to worry about the spread.
Oh, that's just like a straight up bet.
Yeah, it's a straight up bet. That's exactly what it is. So,
okay, all right, thank you. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, so just to be clear, so like if you bet money line on an underdog, it'll pay more than them covering, but you know, sometimes the underdog is nice to take the spread just in case they lose in a close one. But but if they're a favorite and you take the money line, then it doesn't pay as well as them covering, right?
Oh, okay, all right. All right, thank you.
All right, yeah, you're welcome. All right, see you. Okay, all right. Now I'm sorry if anybody else calls in. I'm not going to answer until the end of the show. I'll let you know when I'm taking calls again. All right, so Pirates at Cubs. Today's date numerology is 61, the 18th prime number. Baseball 18. So if you see any 18s on the board, beware. We got 34 date numerology, 25 date numerology. The lesser date numerology is 41, the 13th prime. The day plus the month's 22. Keep in mind, today can be written 13/9, kind of like 139, which is the 34th prime, to go with that 34 date numerology. So maybe the 34 shows up today. Again, date numerology has stayed pretty good. It seems like we're in a good stretch with date numerology right now. So we're definitely going to pay mind to the date numerology in these games. The Pirates at the Cubs, it's actually... All right, let's see. The Cubs today, if they got upset, that would be a big help for the Phillies. If the Cubs got upset today, they'd pick up the 25th home loss. At the same time, Pittsburgh could stay on 25 wins versus the NL Central if they lost. The Pirates could also stay on 34 away wins on a 34-date numerology. But the Pirates could stay on 41 away losses as well. So the date numerology is a little bit of a teeter-totter. The only pickup number was the Cubs picking up that 25th home loss. The Cubs are 8-5 versus the Pirates this year. Pittsburgh does have that 59 connection. If Pittsburgh lost, they'd be 5-9 versus the Cubs. Think about some scenarios, though, where the series could go to. The Cubs are 5-1 at home in 2019. Now, remember, we have the 61 date numerology. 61 is the 18th prime. And Cubs equals 9 in the most pure cipher, but if you use that rule for S, it's 18. So Cubs getting to 6-1 at home on the 61 date, you know, that's hard to ignore. Brault is 4-4 this year. He's 11-10 for his career. If he did win today, he'd get his 12th career win in Chicago. Chicago's 37, the 12th prime. Brault's 8-4 away. Pittsburgh Pirates is 84. If he lost, he'd be 8-5 away, kind of like the reflection of 58. Pittsburgh's 58. Brault's 0-1 versus the Cubs. Lester is 12-10 for the season. If he won today, he'd get his 13th win. 41 date numerology, the 13th prime. Lester could stay on 41 losses in the NL on the 41 dates. Lester could stay on 47 losses in the second half. Pirates 47. Lester could also get his 12th win versus the Pirates today in Chicago. Again, Chicago's 37, the 12th prime. And Lester's 39-22 at Wrigley. So this one's a little bit conflicted. The date numerology does go against the Cubs. The date numerology's been pretty good. But it also would play for them in their home record. So I don't know. I'd probably fade that game today. I'm not crazy about it. If the Pirates do win, that's definitely a good thing for the Phillies. And remember, Pirates and Phillies both in Pennsylvania, so that's something to think about. If the Pirates came in and, roughed up the Cubs. All right, the Braves and Nationals game. Atlanta could pick up their 25th loss in the NL East on the 25 date. The Nationals could stay on 41 home wins. Braves equals 41. So, again, picking up's usually better than staying. So, Atlanta can pick up that 25th loss in the NL East. If the Nationals did win today, they would be 8-9 versus the Braves. Atlanta Braves equals 89. These teams are in the same division. And oftentimes, these head-to-head records are symbolic of the teams when you know their gematria. So, if the Nationals won today, they'd be 8-9 versus the Braves. The Nationals would also improve to 3-4 versus the Braves on the 34 date numerology. And Phillies would like to see the Braves win here. So again, that's something to keep in mind down the stretch. How do these games... if we're wrong about the Phillies getting the playoffs, which is possible, but remember that wild card game is 10-1, 101. Philadelphia's 101. They've been getting riddles all year. That story about the birth of Bryce Harper's son. Okay. Soroka, he's 2-3 in the second half. Nationals is 33. Let's see. He's 1-2 versus the Nationals, the Braves pitcher. If he won, he'd be 1-2. Atlanta Braves is 37, the 12th prime. For Scherzer, he's 10-5 on the year. We know Nationals is 105. His next win would be 11. 11's the 5th prime. Scherzer's on 37 losses with Washington. Atlanta Braves is 37. And Scherzer is 10-7 versus the Braves in 21 starts. It does seem like those numbers 11-7 show up a lot. You know, if you have the same eyeballs as me, I feel like I'm looking at that a lot, 11-7. But don't forget 108, big major league number. Major leagues 108, 108 double stitches on a baseball. Scherzer is 32-21 pitching at Washington. Remember, Nationals is 33, but Braves is 22 in the most pure cipher. He could get his 32nd loss there. So, date numerology is a little bit more favorable for the Nationals today. The head-to-head record's more favorable for the Nationals. In the pitchers, you got a little bit of conflict both ways. So, those surface level stats look good for the Nationals, but I'll let you, again, observe the notes and make your call on that. The Yankees and the Blue Jays. Toronto is 5-8 versus the Yankees this year. If they lose, they would be 5-9. Toronto Blue Jays is 59 in the most pure cipher. It does have an S in it, so it does also carry the 68, which holds a little bit of weight, but that 59 is a lot more significant. I don't know why I underlined the 68. I meant to underline the 59. That's the number that plays more. Toronto is 4-3 versus the Yankees at home this year. They actually have a winning record. And the one thing that I think about that is if somehow they beat the Yankees the next 2 games, New York would be 3-6 at Toronto. The last 36 Riddle on the board for Toronto didn't come through, but remember, almost everything stacked for the Blue Jays in that game. The one risk was that they could fall to 3-6 at home against Boston. They ended up winning. But I just see if Toronto won these 2 games today and tomorrow, that could happen, the 3-6. So it's worth thinking about. If Toronto won today, they'd probably have a shot tomorrow. But I'm still thinking them falling to 5-9 versus the Yankees is probably where it's at. Tanaka, he could get his 34th career away win on the 34 date numerology. He is 13-5 versus the Blue Jays. 13 is the 6th prime. It's something to consider as well. So Tanaka's 4-3 at Toronto. There's a couple more things I should note here. Yankees has that 44 connection. So let's see. Yankees aren't a great payout today. There's a little bit of risk with them. They come in with 97 wins. Let me think about something here real quick. The Yankees, let's see. Yeah. There's no real strong indicators in the record, actually. But I'm just looking at that 5-9. I just know that 59 shows up a lot with the Blue Jays. So, and this Anthony Kay, he's making his 2nd career start. His first start, he got a no decision, had a 3.18 ERA. The Orioles and the Tigers, the first thing that jumps out is the Orioles can get their 25th away win on the 25-date numerology. The next thing that jumps out is Brooks. He's 4-8 on the season. With the win, he'd be 5-8. Baltimore 58. We see plenty of that. And let's see. I think I just realized something that I was sleeping on. Oh, no, I'm wrong. Never mind. So the date numerology is there for the Orioles. The Brooks win record is there. Jordan Zimmerman, he is 1-10 for this season, really struggling. And if he did not win today, he'd stay on 95 career wins. Baltimore's 95. If he did win, he'd get his 96. The Orioles is 96. He's 25-38 with Detroit. He could get his 39th loss with Detroit. Orioles 39. We just saw this 95-39 riddle yesterday with the Orioles. And he would stay on 25 wins on the 25-date numerology. So, again, numbers that are familiar with Baltimore. 58 with a Brooks win. The date numerology that's there. The date numerology has been coming through in the majority of games for... I've lost track of days, either 3 or 4 straight days. And that makes me think that we're getting into a period where maybe the date numerology is going to be solid here for a while. It's been a while since we had a nice, long, solid streak. The last time was like, I think May. It's probably all the way back to May where we had 2 straight good weeks of date numerology. The Dodgers at the Mets. This game's iffy right here. The Dodgers could pick up their 34th away loss today. So they have that in the date numerology. And remember, we said that 34 could play a little bit harder today because we have the 34 date numerology plus it's 13/9, like 139, the 34th prime. The Mets, however, are 1-3 versus the Dodgers this year. If they lost, they'd be 1-4. Or LA would be 4-1 versus the Mets. LA's 14-41. Something else to consider, though, is if New York won today, it would put them in position to win tomorrow and get to 3-3. We know New York's 33. So sometimes you got to look just like a couple games down the road just to think about where else things might go. This is the first game in New York this year. Kershaw's 13-5 for the season. If he lost, again, 13's the 6th prime. He could get a prime number relationship. Kershaw's next career win is 167, the 39th prime, New York's 39. Remember, he failed to get that in Arizona, the other 39 location. His next away loss, though, is 39 as well. So that 39 could play one of 2 ways from today. Win or loss. And Kershaw has dominated the Mets for his career. He is 9-0. If he did win today, he'd get his 10th win. He'd be 10-0. When you write out 10, it's 39 like New York. Mets could improve to 1-9 in 2019. That's another thought, though. He's 9-0. And Kershaw's also 3-0 at the Mets. 3-0 at the Mets. And LA is 4-13. So just because of the way the 39 falls with Kershaw, it just makes me a little bit iffy. The head-to-head record tells a different story than the date numerology, so I'm not crazy about that game today. Hold on, let me look at actually one more thing I should do in that game is this. I need to see who these guys face next. My house guest, he's getting along with my lady because they both laugh a lot. I don't know if you can hear him in the background. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. Kershaw's going to face the Rockies next. And where was that? In LA. Well, if Kershaw didn't win and he beat Colorado for his next win, Colorado is 43, the 14th prime, but he could go in with the 14, so that could also happen. Let's see who Syndergaard faces next. I hate when it does that. 1 second. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mets are at the Rockies. Whoops. What did I just do? It's because this thing's in the way. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I was looking at this the wrong way. Never mind. I thought I had the Dodgers up a second ago. Okay, the Mets are at the Rockies, not the Dodgers. So Syndergaard is 10-7. If he lost, he'd be 10-8 because Rockies is 109. He'd have to lose his next 2 starts to get to 10-9 against the Rockies. Hold on. So let me make a note about that. Syndergaard. Syndergaard is 10-8. Or whoops. Syndergaard faces the Rockies next. Sorry, I'm laughing because in the background I heard my house guest ask my sweet lady if she's ever watched James Brown dance. Syndergaard faces Rockies next. If he lost today and against Rockies, he would be 10-9. Rockies is 109. So that could be a clue. And let's see who. Let me get who Kershaw faces next. Dodgers schedule. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, what in the world? They do face the Rockies. How do they both face the Rockies next? One, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, 2, 3, 4. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone right now. Okay, so that's Wednesday, September 18th. Yeah, so he should face the Rockies. What was this? What am I doing wrong here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, that's days later though. They have a gap. They don't play Saturday? That's weird. They don't play Saturday. Okay. 2-game series. Alright, so actually, so it's like 2, 3. So actually, Kershaw may face the Rays next, and Tampa Bay Rays is 43, so he could also get his 14th win against them. Alright, let me make this note about Kershaw. Kershaw will face Rays or Rockies next. Tampa Bay Rays equals 43, 14th prime. Colorado equals 43, 14th prime. Next win is 14. Okay. Well, Syndergaard would have to lose his next two to get that symbolic record against the Rockies. But man, yeah, I still think that one's tight. I'll let you make the call on it. Maybe you got a good instinct on it. All right, Twins and Indians. The Twins could pick up their 25th away win today. Cleveland can pick up 25th loss in AL Central, so you got the 25s on both sides in this game. That's usually a good sign. Indians could stay on 61 losses. Again, staying on the number is not a great indicator. Cleveland is 3-3 versus Minnesota. If they lost, they'd be 3-4. Indians is 34. Technically, that could go either way, right? Because they're 3-3, so Minnesota could become 3-4 versus the Indians. But you can look at that either way, so that one's kind of a wash. But the date numerology, which has been good recently, supports the Twins in two ways. If Odorizzi won, he'd be 15-6 for the season. When you write out 33, it's 156. Cleveland's 33. Another thing is Indians is 47, the 15th prime. So it's a good team to get the 15th win against. And let's see. Odorizzi's 2-2 at Cleveland. If he won, he'd be 3-2. Twins is 32. For the person calling in right now, Chris, again, we changed the thing. We're just taking calls at the beginning and end of the show, so you want to tune in at the beginning or end. I bet you're asking me about that boxing match, though, tonight, so do call me at the end. I planned on looking at that for you. Again, I'm not trying to screen your call, man. I just want to stick to the rules. Calls at the beginning and end so we can keep the decode part fluid. Savell is 3-3 for the season in career. Cleveland's 33. If he lost, he would be 3-4 on the 34 date numerology. Again, Indians is 34. So that would make some sense. He could fall to 2-2 at home as well against the Twins. Twins is 22 in the most pure cipher. It's 31 with the rule with S, but I always like the more pure one better. So if you see me write like 22/31, it's because you can add +9 for each S, but that first number is usually the more important one. You still want to be mindful of them both. All right, the Athletics and the Rangers. So anyway, I think it's pretty clear what I'm saying, right? You got the date numerology on both sides for one team. You know, things make sense for Odorizzi. Things make sense for Savell. So I think that game's going that way. Athletics at the Rangers. The Athletics can pick up the 34th away loss today. And I bet you the bettors are going to be big on the A's today because they've just been so on fire against the Astros. And that is something to consider about. You know, they are on fire. They could be going places. But they could get their 34th away loss on the 34 date. Athletics is 34. They'd also pick up their 61st loss on the 61 date. So they'd hit the losses in the date numerology in two spots. And I have a feeling the person calling in right now isn't actually watching the live stream. He's just calling in. He's a good caller. All right, you guys, I'm only going to break the rule for him just real quick. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
It's going well. You're not watching the live stream, are you?
Oh, no. I just got on now. Maybe I'm a little delayed by a minute.
You probably are. Yeah, because I said I wasn't not picking up your call. It's just I made new rules for calls only at the beginning and end of the show. But I was saying I bet you're calling me about that boxing match tonight.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, my bad. Yeah, I actually am in a couple of the baseball. That's why I just had something to point out.
Well, all right. I'm going to break the rule for you just because you're a great caller. But just that's the new thing. Calls at the beginning and end of show just so we can keep it fluid in the decode part.
Okay, will do. I will do that. Thanks, Zach.
No, but what did you want to say? Go ahead, man.
Okay, so we got Amanda Serrano. She's got her 39th career bout in New York tonight.
Right.
I think the Hulu Theater. She's won 22 consecutive fights. She's going against Heather Hardy. She's actually 22-0. She's won 22 consecutive fights, going for number 23 today. The odds are very interesting. She's minus 1,800, plus 1,100 for Hardy. But if you were to look at other matches, when odds are like that, usually the favorite is at least double the underdog.
Sure.
So they're very. I don't know. It's a very strange line. So again, if you have the opportunity, maybe if you can check that out. Go ahead. Zach.
I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I'm gonna look at it.
And then for the Minnesota Twins game, Minnesota opened at plus 122, and then I just looked, they're minus 117. And I know you were talking about Odorizzi looking really good today.
Interesting.
Yes, very interesting. Usually that's a good sign.
Yeah.
And then the other point I wanted to point out was I think Clayton Kershaw has a very big winning streak going against the Mets.
Yeah, he's 9-0.
9-0. Interesting.
And he's 3-0 in New York. 3-0 in New York.
3-0 in New York, 9-0. You know, I think that something's telling me he's won. So okay, hold on. So he's won 9 consecutive games.
Right. So it could be completion there. It might be time for a loss.
Yeah, because something tells me, because I looked this up a while ago during his last game against the Groom, and I thought he had like 13 or 14 starts, and then he was like 9-0 in them.
What kills me about that game is he can get his 39th away loss. New York's 39, but he can also get his 167th career win, and that's the 39th prime. So if he began 10-0, when you write out 10 as a word, it does equal 39 like New York.
Got it. Okay. And that line is very low. Very, very low.
For the Dodgers?
Yeah. Syndergaard's been pitching. He's been scripted to pitch really bad, and he's having like problems with the catcher Wilson Ramos. It just looks like a really good game for the Mets to finally get it done.
If Syndergaard does win today, he is going to be 11-7 for the season, and Dodgers does equal 117. So, I mean, there is a riddle there for a Mets upset. It's just Kershaw with the 39th away loss or the 167th wins got me stuck personally. So
I gotcha.
The Dodgers do have the date numerology going against them, and that's been hitting in most games for, I think today's either going to be, well, we'll have to see what happens today, but I think we're on a 4-day streak of good date numerology.
Oh, nice.
So,
okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I called. I appreciate it, Zach. I'll follow.
All right, yeah, take care, man. All right, I'm not breaking the rule, no matter how much I like you, until the end of the show when I say the phone line's back open. All right. Okay, so, you know, the Dodgers and Mets, it's an interesting game. I mean, there is definitely an upset riddle there for the Mets. Seems like they're trying to do something. If the Dodgers didn't win, they'd hang around on 39 away wins for another day, too. Could be some clue there I'm missing. All right, think about it more. Sometimes when I do the review, things pop out at me. All right, Twins at Indians. Again, you know, the date numerology's on both sides there for the Twins. Things look pretty good for Odorizzi. Things don't look so good for Savell. All right, Athletics at Rangers. The Athletics could pick up the 34th away loss, 34 date numerology, and the 61st loss, 61 date numerology. The Rangers are 5-8 versus Oakland this year. This is the part that makes me a little bit anxious. They're 5-8. We know Oakland's 58. Oakland Athletics is 277, the 59th prime. Remember, the Athletics got their 59th win of the season on 27/7, July 27th. So if the Rangers lost, they would be 5-9 versus Oakland this year. So that's got me. Either team could become 3-4 playing in Arlington on this 34 date numerology as well. So that's a little bit tricky. Remember how 74 is a huge number in Oakland? Oakland, California is 74. The Rangers are 74 to host Oakland. Bassett, if Bassett won, he would be 11-5. 11's the 5th prime. I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Oakland Athletics equals 97-106. Oakland, California is also 106. Could fall to 10-6. Bassett is 14-19 for career. Arlington, where they play, does equal 47, which is the 15th prime if he got his 15th career win. Bassett's 7-9 away. If he lost, he'd be 7-10. Remember, you have to read these numbers backwards. 7-10's kind of like 107. Rangers is 107. You know, just imagine him being 10-7 with a win record. Look at that the same with a loss record. 7-10. Rangers 107. So Bassett to me looks a little bit like more going against him than for him. If he loses, he's 7-9 in the second half. The reflection of 9-7. Athletics is 97. Again, Oakland Athletics is 97. So Bassett's numbers aren't real encouraging. He could become 11-5. That is one thing to consider. And actually, now that I think about the 11, I should put one more thing here. Texas equals 66, which is the 11th triangular number. Bassett's 1-2 versus the Rangers. Oakland's 22 in the most Pierce cipher. He's 0-1 at Texas. And this Brock Burke doesn't have much to go off of. He's 0-1. He has 4 career starts, 3.52 ERA. So he's looking for that first W. Date numerology goes against Oakland. Bassett's a little bit of a teeter-totter. And Burke's a wild card. So can't say it's my favorite game of the day. Athletics are a pretty big favorite on the road. Could think about the Rangers maybe in a dollar parlay type of situation, but I don't feel very strong about that game. The Astros at the Royals. Let's see. The Astros could pick up the 34th away loss on the 34 date numerology. Remember, the date numerology's been good, but it's not coming through for every single riddle. This is the kind of game where I'd be like, I don't know how much weight I want to put on the date numerology here just based off that. The Royals are 32-39 versus the Astros all time. They're 13-21 versus the Astros at home all time. The Royals are 1-2 versus the Astros this year. That means from Houston's perspective, Houston can become 3-1. And Houston and 31 riddles seem to show up in almost every game. And KC is also 13. So Kansas City could fall to 1-3 versus Houston today. And keep in mind, KC equals 14 as well, and Astros equals 43, the 14th prime. So imagine Houston wins today and tomorrow. They'd be 4-1. KC would be 1-14 versus the Astros. And again, for the person calling in right now, I imagine you just signed on. I will open up the lines when we're done with the decode. So please be patient. But the head-to-head looks good for the Astros. I trust that more than the date numerology in this game. Let's see. Garrett Cole on the mound today could get his 32nd win with Houston. Kansas City is 32. So good team to do it against. This is supposed to say for season. I see one more thing I overlooked. Kansas City Royals is 59 in the most pure cipher, the 17th prime. Garrett Cole could get his 17th win of the season. So that stands out. And Cole could also get his 36th win in the second half. Royals is 36. So quite a few things look good for Cole there. Duffy is 6-6 for the season. With a loss, he'd be 6-7. Kansas City 67. He could get his 62nd career loss against the team from Houston, Texas, 62. I guess the one thing I should mention is it's 61 date numerology if he stayed on 61 losses. Duffy is 24-29 at home. To me, this is the best riddle of the day for a Kansas City upset. Kansas City is a major underdog, but Duffy could get his 25th home win. So I would throw the Royals in a dollar parlay, just because there is a shot. We've seen the Astros give up some monster lines this year, same with the Red Sox. And consider those are the last two teams to win the World Series in the AL. They've given up the most lopsided lines this year, those two teams respectively. So Duffy has that 25 date numerology thing going, but just as good as things look for Garrett Cole and the head-to-head record. So because the date numerology is there going against the Astros, and because Duffy could get his 25th home win on the 25 date, think about the Astros in a tiny parlay with some picks you like. One where if you lose, you're not mad about it, but if it hits, you're like, whoa, I just turned $1 into, a bag of groceries, that type of thing. Okay, Brewers at Cardinals. St. Louis can pick up the 41st win versus the NL Central on the 41 date numerology. So that's the lesser date numerology today, but that's the one thing that's there. The Cardinals are 9-7 versus the Brewers this year. 9-7. Now think about how Milwaukee Brewers is 98. So if the Cardinals lost today, they would be 9-8 versus the Brewers. That's something to consider. And if they lost 2 in a row, they'd be 9-9. Brewers is 99. Not out of the question. The Cardinals are 5-1 at home in 2019 versus the Brewers. If Milwaukee won, they'd be 2-5 at St. Louis. St. Louis is 25, but that's the big one right there, that they could get to 6-1. Because remember, we have 61 date numerology as well. Cardinals could become 6-1 at home versus the Brewers. St. Louis Cardinals is 61. The 61 date numerology. Again, Brewers losing is something that needs to happen for the Phillies. So I am just thinking about, the Phillies getting into the playoffs. It just seems like it's been foreshadowed this year. They're going to need help in games like this. So that 61 date numerology is really hard to ignore in light of the 6-1 at home. St. Louis Cardinals 61. But the head-to-head makes it a little bit tricky, that 9-8. So let me go back and check something here real quick. Make sure I'm not missing a number. All right. Yeah, the head-to-head says Brewers win it, but man, that I'm having trouble with that 6-1 at home. You can make sense of a 2-5, but the 61 is a little bit better. So, all right, the pitchers in this game. Hauser is 6-5 for the season. He's 4-3 away. If he won, he would be 5-3. Milwaukee's 53, who he pitches for. He's 4-2 in the second half. St. Louis 43. He's 1-1 versus the Cardinals. If he lost, he'd be 1-2. Remember, Milwaukee 37, the 12th prime, like 1-2. And Wainwright's going for his 12th win of the season. He has the right opponent to do it. Milwaukee's 37, the 12th prime. Wainwright, his next home loss is 47. St. Louis is 47. That doesn't have to come today, but just maybe perhaps his next home game against a 47 team. That might be how that happens. And Wainwright's 64-35 in the second half. Brewers is 36. But again, the stat that's up at the top's usually... That's usually the way I look at these pitching stats, too, from the top down. Usually at the top, you're looking at the more important numbers. The fact that he can get his 12th win of the season against Milwaukee, that's a very probable narrative. So I'd be careful with that game, too. Couldn't rank that as one of my favorite games just because of the conflicts. The Padres at the Rockies. The Padres could pick up their 34th away win on the 34-date numerology. San Diego could also stay on 34 losses versus the NL West, so they could get the 34 and stay on a 34. And Colorado can pick up the 41st loss in the NL West on the lesser date numerology of 41. The Rockies are 8-8 versus the Padres this year. If they lost, they'd be 8-9. Either team could be 8-9. Colorado Rockies is 89. Rockies are 4-3 at home this year, which makes sense because Colorado and San Diego's 43. Question is, where does it go from there? Rockies, if you use the rule for S, does have that 44 connection as well. It's also worth noting. Let me jot that down. So Rockies could fall to 4-4 at home. The pitchers, Lucchesi's 5-8 away. If he won, he'd be 6-8 away. Denver 68, where they play. Could get to 6-8 in Denver. And this Hoffman's 3-7 at home. So to me, this looks like another 38 riddle with Colorado. He can fall to 3-8 at home. Colorado's 38. San Diego's 38. Colorado's the 38th state. Again, my eyes always light up when I see a 38 Colorado riddle. So date numerology says Padres. Lucchesi says Padres. Hoffman says Padres. The one devil's advocate narrative is that if Hoffman won, he'd be 2-2 versus the Padres. San Diego Padres 79, the 22nd prime, but I can't take that over a 38 riddle in Colorado. Reds and D-backs. The D-backs could pick up their 34th home loss today. Again, 34 date numerology. The Diamondbacks are 70-74 versus the Reds all time. So just to Point out the symbolic numbers. Cincinnati Reds 70. Diamondbacks is 75. Whoops. The D-backs are 30 and 38 at home versus the Reds, so they have a losing record at home. And their next loss would be 39, that big Arizona number. So I'll just point that out. Doesn't have to come today. D-backs are 2-1 versus the Reds this year. In that last series, they won the first two and lost the last one. If they went 2-1 in this series, the Diamondbacks, they'd be 4-2 versus the Reds this year. Arizona's 42, Diamondbacks is 42. So I think there is a good chance that they do improve to 4-2 versus the Reds this year. We've seen a lot of that number with Arizona. Castillo today, 14-6 on the season. I didn't see really anything screaming out with his stats in terms of this matchup. I'm going to have to look at who he faces next. He is 1-4 versus the Diamondbacks. If he won today, the Diamondbacks would be 4-2 versus him, which is something to consider. Let's see. Let's look at who these pitchers face next. One, two, three, four, five. He's going to face the Cubs next, Castillo. So does anything make sense with that? Cubs is 27. If he lost today and his next game, he'd be 27-27 versus the Cubs. If he lost today and next game, he could be 27. 27. Cubs equals 27. So that is something to consider. And let's look at who Leak faces next. One, two, three, four, five. He's got the Marlins at home next. Marlins is 32. If he won, he'd go into that Marlins game 3-2 with the D-backs, and he'd have a chance to improve to 4-2 in his time with the Diamondbacks. So let me make a note about that. He faces Marlins next. Marlins equals 32. Okay, he's 11-10 for the season, Leak. Something I see in that now that I overlooked earlier is Cincinnati equals 66, the 11th triangular number. He stayed on 11 or became 11-11. I do like that he could go into the Marlins game 3-2 with Arizona, though. He went from the AL to the NL. Leak's next win is 105. Arizona's 105. He could pick it up in Arizona. 97 losses he's on. That's the 25th prime. You got the 25 date numerology if he stayed on it. You know, Cincinnati Reds has that 79 Gematria, though. His next loss in the NL is 79. And his next loss in the second half is 44. Reds have that 44 connection. Leak has struggled against the Reds for his career. He is 0-5 against the Reds. And he's 2-3 so far pitching in Arizona. Diamondbacks do have the date numerology going against them. Hard to make a judgment with the head-to-head record for today. I think there is a good shot, though, that Arizona takes 2 out of 3 in the series. Again, to get to 4-2. They might not win today, though. Castillo, you know, the concern with him, I guess, is that he loses today and does become 27-27 versus the Cubs, which would be symbolic. It's a big MLB number. MLB's 27, baseball's 27, 27 outs per team. But, yeah, it's possible Leak could get a no decision today and become 3-2 versus the Marlins. So, yeah, I can't rank this as a great game today either. Rays and Angels. Rays could stay on 61 losses on the 61 date numerology. The Angels are 182 versus the Rays all time. The Angels are 51-40 at home all time. For the person calling in right now, I will open it up to callers at the end of the decode, so just a little bit longer. We're almost there. Okay. The Angels, again, are 51-40 at home. If they lost today, they would pick up their 41st loss on the 41 date numerology. LA's 41. The Angels are 2-2 versus the Rays this year. Angels is 32, but either team could become 3-2 today. No, Rays could become 3-2 versus the Angels. Angels 32. It's the first game in LA. So the Angels split with the Rays in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is 79, the 22nd prime. Angels is 22 and 32. Okay, so Morton, he's 14-6 this year, 89-87 for career, 43-16 in the AL. Los Angeles Angels is 59, the 17th prime. One other thing to consider is Los Angeles is 53, the 16th prime, but it would be a fitting team to get his 17th loss against in the AL. He could get his 37th win in the second half as well, another Los Angeles number. And Morton is 3-1 versus the Angels. LA is 41. You got the 41 date numerology. He could improve to 4-1 versus the Angels. The problem is he could fall to 3-2 as well because Angels has that 32 Gematria. So, a little bit tight there. Heaney. The thing that jumps out for Heaney is he could get his 25th career loss today. Tampa Bay's 25, plus you got the 25 date numerology. And if Heaney did lose today, he'd get his 22nd loss with the Angels. Tampa Bay's 79, the 22nd prime. Heaney's 13-11 at home. Tampa Bay Rays is 43, the 14th prime. So there's a riddle there for the 14th home win. Heaney is 0-2 versus the Rays. Guess I should make the note about Los Angeles, 37, the 12th prime. If he became 1-2. He's 13-9 with Los Angeles, Heaney, which makes sense. Los Angeles Angels is 139 and Anaheim, California is 139. So, Morton, you could make an argument either way. To me, the strongest stat out of the pitchers is that Heaney could get his 25th career loss because you have the 25 date numerology and Tampa Bay's 25 and the most pure cipher. So, and again, he could get his 22nd loss with the Angels. Tampa Bay's 79, the 22nd prime. T plus B's 20 plus 2, 22 as well. And there's actually overlap with that number because Angels is 22. So to me, that 25 jumps out the most. All right. The White Sox and the Mariners. The Mariners could stay on 41 home losses on the 41 date. The Mariners could pick up the 61st win on the 61 date. The Mariners are 2-1 versus the White Sox this year, I think. Let's see. Yeah, Chicago White Sox is 79, the 22nd prime. Let me write that down real quick. This is the first game in Seattle. Covey, who's on the mound, is 1-8 away for his career. He could fall to 1-9 in Seattle. Seattle's 19, right? But Seattle, if you use the rule for S, is 28. And we have seen the 28 show up a lot with Seattle this year. Again, I do favor the more pure cipher, but just like yesterday, the Reds got their 28th win of the season in Seattle. Covey's 6-29 for the career, so pretty miserable stats. He wins one game for about every 5 he loses. He's 2-19 away, so he wins about one game for every 10 he loses. And he's 2-16 in the second half. He is, however, 1-0 versus the Mariners in 2 starts with a 2.51 ERA, so he seems to bring his A game against the Mariners. Kikuchi, he's 6-9 for the season in career, and is it Kikuchi that's... It's his first name then. So again, you say Kikuchi lost his father at the beginning of the season. His father died 79 days from his birthday. And if he does win, he will be 7-9. Chicago White Sox is 79. You say is 79. Again, I'll just make the note here. His father died 79 days from his birthday. And we talked about that at the beginning of the year, so I keep thinking he's going to end up being 7-9, and the White Sox would be a perfect team to do it against. So the date numerology is there for the Mariners. The Kikuchi riddle's there. You can make an argument either way for Covey. And the head-to-head record does have one thing that could go against the Mariners tonight, but again, it might be more about where it's going to end by the end of the series rather than the progression of games. These teams aren't in the same division. So I just see this as the perfect opponent for Kikuchi to get to 79 or 7-9 with. And I realize I didn't quite finish my decode. I had to finish doing the splits for these last 3 pitchers here that are left. Kikuchi at home is 2-6. He's really struggled at home. Kikuchi is 2-6 at home. Seattle's the 206. And he's 2-3 in the second half. Let's see, has he faced the White Sox yet? He's 0-0 versus the White Sox. 1 start, 7.2 ERA. Kikuchi. 0-0 versus White Sox. 7.20 ERA. 1 start. And let's look at Covey's splits. Or did I get him? I guess I got his splits. Okay, so I mean, to me, the riddle looks better for the Mariners. Again, it's the date numerologies there for them. I've been saying I think Kikuchi's going to get to 7-9 for a while. This is the perfect team to do it against. And Covey, as much of a bum as he is, it would make sense for him to fall to 1-9 in Seattle. So, okay, Marlins at Giants. Let's see here. All right, Giants can stay on 41 home losses. Giants are 110-87 versus the Marlins all time. Giants are 57-41 at home. So again, they can stay on 41 in 2 ways. They can stay on 41 home losses for the year and 41 losses at home to the Marlins. That's interesting. Plus it's Orange Friday, right? Let me write that up here. It is Orange Friday. We know the Giants like Orange Friday. All right, Alcantara is 5-12 first season. Let's look at his stats some more. Alcantara. He is 7-15 for career. And he is 2-6 away. Miami is 27-36, but remember, Marlins is 103, the 27th prime, so that 2 7s heavier. And let's see here, as he faced the Giants. He's 0-0 versus the Giants, 1 start, 1.35 ERA. Alcantara is 0-0 versus Giants, 1 start, 1.35 ERA. Okay. See, as he pitched at San Francisco. Well, he didn't start there. He had some middle relief and he gave up a run in 0.2 innings. Wasn't a start, though. All right, I see Tyler Beede can get to 5-9 today. I like that right away because Miami Marlins is 59. So that is jumping out. All right, let's see what else Beede has going on here. I think we talked about that with Bede's last start to set up this opportunity. Beede is 4-10 for career. let's see. He's 0-4 at home. Looking for that first win. Remember, we have the 41 date numerology today, the reflection of 1-4. And also, Florida does equal 43, the 14th prime. We got a Florida team. They used to be called the Florida Marlins. He's 0-0 versus the Marlins in one start with a 1.5 ERA. So, I like that the Giants can stay on 41 losses in 2 spots. It's Orange Friday. Giants do well on Orange Friday. You know, if the Giants win 2 in this series, they will get to 59. That symbolic number with the Marlins. Alcantara can fall to 2-7 away. Miami's 27. Marlins is 103, the 27th prime. And I love that Bede can get to 5-9. That's the one that's screaming out at me. Let's see who he faces next. Let's see who both of them face next real quick. One, two, three, four, five. The Red Sox. The Red Sox. Yeah, I'm not sure about that in terms of him playing the Red Sox next. It's not a big deal, though. He's got the right opponent today. Okay, and let's just see who the Marlins guy faces next. One, two, three, four, five. He's got the Diamondbacks next. And yeah, hard to say based off his stats too. But Bede becoming 5-9. Miami Marlins 59 in the most pure cipher. We've seen a whole lot of that. All right, so let's review baseball real quick. Again, date numerology today is 61, 34, 25. Date numerology's been good. 61's the 18th prime. I didn't really see any 18s jump out at me today, unless I skipped something. But if you do see an 18 in your own decode, keep that in mind. Lesser date numerology of 41, 13th prime. So, you got your date numerology riddles at the top. If you've just been playing the date numerology, you've been doing well the last few days. The Pirates at the Cubs game. Cubs do have the date numerology going against them today. They could get the 25th home loss. There's also a few stay riddles that could go in favor of the Cubs. The Cubs are 5-1 at home this year against the Pirates. If they won, they'd be 6-1 on the 61 date numerology. 61 is the 18th prime. Cubs is 18. And if Pittsburgh lost, they'd be 5-9 versus the Cubs this year. And Pittsburgh does have that 59 connection. Pittsburgh's 50, and if you use the roll with S, it's 59. So the head-to-head record looks good for the Cubs. Date numerology can make an argument. So Brault's got a little riddle to pick up his 12th career win in Chicago again. So Lester's got riddles. The pitcher riddles go kind of back and forth today. Things look a little bit better for Lester through the pitcher riddles, in my opinion. So, Cubs are a pretty big favorite, but Pirates definitely have an upset narrative. I'm not crazy about this game, but if you're doing your small parlay cards, the Pirates on the one of those small bets, they could come through today because that date numerology is there, and you got arguments with the pitchers. So, just thinking about, yeah, I mean, if the Pirates did damage on the Cubs, that would really help the Phillies. It's not out of the question. If the Pirates won 3 in a row, which doesn't sound like the right narrative, but if they did, they would get the 37 away wins. Chicago's 37, and it would follow the date numerology each day. Cubs swept the Pirates. They could also get to 44 away losses. Chicago has that 44 connection too, so Gonna have to play that one by ear, day by day. Braves at Nationals. Atlanta can pick up the 24th loss in the NL East, and the Nationals could stay on 41 home wins. Again, picking up is always better than staying. If the Nationals did win today, they'd be 8-9 versus the Braves. Atlanta Braves 89, so the head-to-head record would make sense. Soroka, you can make a little riddle for him to get the W today. That's the Braves pitcher. Scherzer's got an argument at the win as well. Based on the fact that the date numerology favors the Nationals and the head-to-head record favors the Nationals, it's hard to go against those patterns. Those have been great for us this week. So, but like I said earlier, the one thing to consider is it's playoff time's approaching. To me, it's been seeming like they're going to get the Phillies in the playoffs all year. So, Nationals losing, that's something that would help out the Phillies today. That's the one thing to keep in mind. So, be sure to go over these notes. There's things to consider, like how Scherzer could get his 22nd loss in Washington today, and Braves is 22. These things are possible. The Yankees-Blue Jays, the strongest riddle is the Blue Jays becoming 5-9 versus the Yankees this year. Toronto Blue Jays is 59 in the most pure cipher. Tanaka can get the 34th away win on the 34-date numerology. This Anthony K doesn't have a lot of history. The Orioles game, Orioles can pick up the 25th away win on the 25-date, and Brooks can improve to 5-8. Baltimore 58. So that makes some good sense. Zimmerman has more going against him than for him today, if he picked up the L. The Dodgers and Mets. Tight game here today. The Dodgers could get the 34th away loss on the 34-date numerology. Kershaw, what kills me about Kershaw is he could get his 39th career away loss in New York's 39, or he could get his 167th win, which is the 39th prime, and of course New York's 39. So I hate that about Kershaw. Syndergaard, if he won today, he would be 11-7. Dodgers equals 117. So a good team to become 11-7 against. The concern is Syndergaard plays the Rockies next. If he lost today and at the Rockies, he'd be 10-9, and Rockies is 109. So that's possible, but just if you're looking blind, not at the future, and looking at today, Syndergaard becoming 11-7 versus the Dodgers, the riddle is there. This was just a 2-game series. They don't play tomorrow. They play today and Sunday. And you know what? I see something in that. Dodgers is 72 with the alphabetic order. If the Mets lost these games, they would get to 72 losses. Wait a minute. What's going on? You guys remember earlier when I looked at the schedule and it showed that they weren't playing tomorrow? Was that from the... Okay, never mind. It's a 3-game series. Didn't earlier I look at this and it showed that it was just 2 games? Was it from the Rock? Or, what happened? Was it a glitch? Unless I just looked at it funny. No, it's a 3-game series. Never mind. Okay, I'm going to put these notes up here, though. These are things to think about. If Mets lose 2, they will have 72 losses. Dodgers equals 72. If Mets lose 3, they will have 73 losses. Los Angeles Dodgers equals 73. So, you got some different scenarios there. Check out something else real quick. Yeah, the 39 on both sides for Kershaw is a killer. It makes it tough. And by the way, Kershaw is 9-0 versus the Mets. 9-0. So is he going to become 10-0? When you write out 10, it's 39 like New York. If he lost, being 9-1, 91's the 13th triangular number. LA 13. From the Mets' perspective, they'd be 1-9 in 2019. So Kershaw's also 3-0 at the Mets in New York City. If he won, he'd be 4-0. LA's 4. LA's also 13. The Mets could become 1-3 against Kershaw in New York. So, but Syndergaard becoming 11-7 versus the Dodgers. I mean, it is there. So, and always jot down your notes, because if Syndergaard does lose today, remember this about the next time he faces the Rockies. So that one is tight. But I do think there's a good chance the Mets drop at least 2 or 3 here, because I see those symbolic numbers. Dodgers 72, Los Angeles Dodgers 73 if they got swept. And I'm not seeing... If the Dodgers did sweeping... let me see something else about the Dodgers real quick. Yeah... If the Dodgers did sweep, they'd stay on 33 away losses, a New York number. But again, they got the date numerology going against them today, and Syndergaard could become 11-7. So that's another game where you're going to have to make a judgment call. Remember, the date numerology has been overwhelmingly good. It's not coming through in every game, but it's coming through in most. The Twins and Indians, Twins can get the 25th away win, and the Indians can get the 25th loss in the AL Central on the 25 date numerology. Cleveland could fall to 3-4 versus Minnesota. Indians 34 date numerology. Odorizzi has good riddles to win today. Savell has good riddles to lose. I think that game looks enticing. The Athletics and the Rangers. Athletics can pick up the 34th away loss today. Athletics 34. They could also get the 61st loss on the 61 date numerology. And the concern here is the head-to-head. If the Rangers lost, they'd be 5-9 versus Oakland. Again, Oakland Athletics 277, the 59th prime. So that's something to consider. The pitcher riddle's a little bit of a teeter-totter today. Seems like more's going against Bassett than for him, though. And then Burke is this wild card. So be careful with that one. Astros at Royals. I suspect that the date numerology does go against the Astros today, but I suspect that the Astros win because the Royals will become 1-3 versus the Astros. KC's 13, Houston's 31. Houston will become 3-1 versus the Royals with a win. And I suspect that the Astros win today and tomorrow. To make it 1-4. Both teams have a 14-43 connection as well. And then Cole today could get his 17th win of the season. Kansas City Royals 59, the 17th prime. Cole could get his 32nd win with Houston. Kansas City's 32. He get his 36th win in the second half. Royals is 36. Duffy can fall to 6-7. Kansas City 67. But like I said earlier, if you're doing your small parlay, where you're putting in some risky games with some games you like, you're just betting $1 on it, whatever you do, whatever's a small amount to you, I would throw the Royals in there because through Duffy, they have a shot. Duffy can get his 25th home win on the 25 date numerology. And, again, the date numerology is going against the Astros. So I suspect this is the game where the date numerology doesn't come through, but in case I'm wrong about that, you could hit big with the Royals on a small parlay because they are a major payout today. Their line against him is -400. All right, Brewers at Cardinals. Next game up on the docket. The head-to-head's what really jumps out here. You got division rivals. If the Cardinals lost today, they would be 9-8 versus the Brewers. Milwaukee Brewers is 98. If they lost 2 in a row, they'd be 9-9. Brewers is 99. People would be going, what's going on? Yelich gets hurt, and now the Brewers just can't be beat. But that said, if the Cardinals win today, they will be 6-1 at home versus the Brewers. Make sure that's clear. 6-1 versus the Brewers. Today has 61 date numerology, and St. Louis Cardinals equals 61. And a Cardinals win helps out the Phillies. So, I'm not sure I looked at who the Brewers pitcher was facing next. I need to do that real quick. If he's facing Cincinnati, then I know we got a done deal here. Doesn't look like it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's facing the Padres next. Padres. Okay. So yeah, the head-to-head records are a little bit conflicting. The home record looks good for the Cardinals to win. The overall head-to-head record looks good for the Brewers. I'd probably play that one by ear. If the Brewers do win today, I'd be favoring the Brewers tomorrow because the Brewers in that 99 thing hits a lot. So you got a riddle for Wainwright to pick up the W today and get his 12th win of the season. Milwaukee 37, the 12th prime. But yeah, again, I'll post the notes so you can view them with your own eyeballs. Got some teeter-totters there with the pitchers. The Padres and Rockies. Padres today, they can get the 34th away win on the 34 date. They can stay at 34 losses versus the NL West. Colorado can pick up the 41st. Colorado can also pick up the 41st loss versus the NL West. So date numerology looks good for the Padres. I'm going to note that tomorrow's 35 date numerology, Rockies equals 35. Tomorrow would be a great day. Well, tomorrow we have to think about it, but tomorrow's got that 35 date. If the Rockies lose today, they will be 8-9 versus the Padres for the year. Colorado Rockies 89, like 8-9. And Lucchesi can improve to 6-8 away for his career. Denver's 68, where the game's at. Hoffman for the Rockies can lose and fall to 3-8. Colorado's 38. San Diego's 38. I love Colorado in 38 riddles, so I like that. Reds at D-backs. Yeah, not crazy about this game here. D-backs do have the date numerology going against them. But there's not a lot that's real clear about this game. So I'll let you view the notes if you want to take a stab at it. We did see that if Castillo lost today, he'd probably lose his next start to the Cubs as well. So that's something to think about. That depends on him losing today, though. The Rays and the Angels. The Rays can stay on 61 losses on the 61 date. The Angels are 51-40 at home against the Rays all time. They could get the 41st loss on the 41 date. And the pitcher, you can make an argument either way. Here, I'll take calls since we're in the review. Caller?
What's going on?
What's up, man?
Yep, the game you skipped over, I kind of like. I got an observation on the Reds and the Diamondbacks.
Okay.
Yep, check this out. First of all, it's the 13th, and Arizona going for the 6th straight loss.
That's a good one. That's a good one right there. Very good.
But check this out. This some creepy shit right here. Okay, so the Mets beat who the Mets played? The Mets played Arizona yesterday. They beat them 11-1, like 1-1-1, right? So the manager for the Diamondbacks can pick up his career loss 2-2-2. He can pick up his 222nd loss.
Huh.
So check this out. When you write 2-2-2 in the calculator, you get 69, 39, and 42. So the 39 and 42, those are Arizona Diamondbacks, and Cincinnati's going for their 69 overall win of the season.
Huh. Yeah, great observation. Great observation.
Yep. So I think Reds is a good play today. Yep.
Yeah, you're good job on the streaks. I need to look at that. Yeah, that's a great catch. So the 6th loss on the 13th, people. 13's the 6th prime. So, yeah, good one, man.
Yep, and that manager's going for his 222nd loss today, and he just lost yesterday 1-1-11.
Yeah, that makes some sense. Good work.
Yep.
All right, take care. Yeah, welcome.
Yes, sir.
All right, yeah, 13 and 6, prime number relationships. So, here, I forget to do this almost every day, and I don't know why. It's like in my mind to do it, and then I forget. Make sure nobody else is going for a streak of 6 today. The Brewers have won 7 straight. Could they be going for 8 straight? I got to make a note about that. 19, the 8th prime. We've seen so many streaks go to 8. Just saw it with Cam Newton yesterday. So, yep, D-backs could lose 6 straight on the 13th. That's a great observation. Okay. Let me make this note about the Brewers, too. Brewers going for 8th straight win. Brewers are going for 8th straight win. Caller?
Bruins going for 8 in a row today.
Yeah, I was just writing that down. Yeah, we've seen a lot of streaks of 8 this year in baseball.
Yeah, and then if they win today, then they can get to, I think you said 99, right? Tomorrow.
And that'd be
So
9
go
straight.
to
9 straight to make it 9-9 versus the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And then another thing I've been seeing is they're foreshadowing Madden to get fired from the Cubs. So I would definitely pay them more than none of this coming down the stretch.
Okay, good observation.
Yeah, all right, Zach.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it. Take care. Caller?
Hey, Zach.
Hey, what's up?
I got some notes here on the Brewers game.
Okay.
So, I'm just going to lay it out there, and then you can kind of give me your feedback, what you think. So, their last game that they won was number 157 all time. That was 37th prime.
That was for Wainwright, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, for the Brewers.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, I got it right up here. Yeah, I see it. Okay, yep.
Yeah, and Milwaukee's 37, and so they have 37 road losses right now, and if they win 2 in a row, they can get to 37, and their next road win is number 36. Cardinals is 36, Brewers is 36. The next loss that the Cardinals would be in the record for the series for this year, they would fall to 9-8. Milwaukee Brewers 98. Brewers, I mean, this is kind of a long shot, what I'm thinking right here, but so Brewers can get to 37-37 record, right, if they lost 2 in a row.
If they won 2 in a row.
Yeah, if the Cardinals lost 2 in a row,
Oh,
they
right.
would get to 37-37, kind of like a Milwaukee tribute,
Right.
And that would also put the Cardinals at a 9-9 record, Brewers 99.
And they'd win 9 straight games to do it.
And they win 9 straight games. Okay, so here's the kicker. I actually think they might sweep. This is why. So, 2 games from now is the 367th game, the 73rd prime. Milwaukee Brewers equals 73. The next win at the Cardinals is number 83 all time. That's the 23rd prime. Sweep equals 23. Brewers can get to 81 total wins with the sweep against the Cardinals. Cardinals equals 81. They can also improve on the season to 4-5 in St. Louis with the sweep. Brewers is 45. Cardinals would also stay on 100 total wins in the series at home against the Brewers, and Milwaukee equals 100. And so here's the reason why I believe this. I think the 109 and the 29 prime relationship today is going to play a big part because you mentioned it in the beginning. It's 109 days remaining in the year, right?
Right.
So they would finish the series for the year at 10-9.
Huh, yeah.
Like 109, starting on the 109th day left in the year.
Yeah, that's a good observation.
So I could be reaching a little bit, but I don't know, man. This looks kind of good. And, like, I've had a lot of luck betting on the Brewers and Cardinals series.
Uh-huh.
The last series was they got the 206th loss and the 207th loss on the 26th day and the 27th day. And then they picked up that, like I said, that 157th all-time win.
Right.
37th prime in that last game.
Right.
So I mean, we're looking for help for the Phillies. This might be the help. I don't know if I'm reaching a little bit with the Brewers sweeping, but I mean, man, all these points they point to it.
Yeah, they are great observations, and the head-to-head records in the divisions have been really good indicators. So it's all there.
That's funny that you said. So they would get the 8th win in the series on their 8th game win streak, their 9th win streak win on the 9th game in the series,
and possibly the 10th in the 10th game.
10th and the 10th. Yeah, that's crazy, huh?
That is. Yeah. Yeah. Just remember, a lot of streaks do end at 9, though, as well, just because completion is 9. So we'll have to think about that 3rd game. But
yeah. So I don't know if there's a way for. I mean, I've never bet on like a total series bet, like for the Brewers sweep, or I don't know if I have to parlay all 3 days together. But I've never done that, so maybe that would be kind of interesting for me to put like a $1 bet on each game and parlay and see what happens.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, man.
All right, man.
Appreciate
Thanks.
it. While he was talking about that, I was like, I realized I didn't do the math. Notice today's going to be the Astros' 139th game, which is the 34th prime. And we got the 34-8 numerology. If the Astros lost today, that would be a monster payout. 2 days in a row, the Astros giving up. Let me scan real quick and make sure how many teams are on the 139th game, potentially. 138th here, 137th here. Wait, am I doing bad math? Let me make sure I'm not doing bad math. Maybe my math's off. 146, actually, 147. 148. Yeah, my math was off for a second. I got to go back and make sure I didn't screw up with the Astros. 148. Yeah, maybe they're past 139. My math might have been bad. 145, 148, 147. They must be past it. 146, 145. How could they be so far behind? 148. 149 is the 35th prime, but... Caller?
Hey, so I just wanted to add today's on the Hebrew calendar 162 and 54 day numerology. And the Dodgers can get lost 54, Astros can get lost 54, and then Cardinals can get lost 54 to the NL.
Huh. Interesting.
So, might play, but I think that 34 is definitely going to be it today because, I mean, I saw it with that Japan game. It ties in with the day of the year. Like, there's a whole bunch of things that tie into it. Also, with Tanaka, he's not going to face the Rockies most likely. So right now, he's tentatively scheduled for next Friday. And next Friday they play the Blue Jays again, but in New York. And get this, so today has 41 and a lesser day numerology of 23. 9 plus 1 plus 3 plus 1 plus 9 is 23. Next time he plays, it will also have 41 and 23 day numerology.
Okay, interesting.
So it might be something to look into for that, but that 109 could happen, but it's just not probably going to be synced with the Rockies.
Okay.
All right, just wanted to add that.
All right, thanks, man. So I was wrong a second ago. My math was bad. It's actually going to be the Astros' 149th game, which is the 35th prime. But I'm noticing it's the Royals' 148th game of the season, and we know Kansas City's 148. That was our Homer Bailey riddle last night. So anyway, Astros in a dollar parlay, or Astros to lose in a dollar parlay is all I do with that game because there's quite a bit there that lines up for the Astros, but they do have the date numerology, and Duffy has a little riddle. So, again, the Rockies lose, you get another 38 riddle in Colorado. Reds and Diamondbacks, caller made a great observation that if the Diamondbacks lose, they will lose 6 straight on the 13th. 13 is the 6th prime. See a lot of things like that happen, so I overlooked that. Great job to him. And, let's see, Rays and Angels, Again, the strongest thing that stands out to me here is Heaney. If Heaney loses, he's going to get his 25th career loss. You got 25 date numerology, and Tampa Bay equals 25. But again, I'd go over those notes with your own eyeballs. Caller?
Hey, how's it going, Zach?
What's up, man?
Hey, I got some news. You know what happened to Sam Bradford? Sam Darnold?
Right, Sam Darnold.
The Jets quarterback?
He's got mono.
Yeah. In the press conference, Adam Gase refers number 14 has mono, which was weird, I thought. Referring a player by their number.
Sure.
Also, in the early weeks of the NFL, something we can look for, like what happened on Thursday night, the upsets. A lot of upsets we seeing, And something also for anyone who does the live betting, a lot of league changes I noticed in the last minutes. So what happened with Arizona tied the game? 2 league changes on that New Orleans game and Texans. So at the last minute. So something like if you betting, you can always see a team is losing. Like the Eagles, they were losing by 17 to the Washington Redskins.
Right.
And if you would have put, they would have been the underdogs right there, the
Right.
Eagles, which were actually favorites at the beginning of the game.
Of course.
So, and one last thing, also the shaming of Antonio Brown.
Right.
He got the allegation of the rape charges.
Right.
So, guess what? Roger Goodell, the the big man on the NFL. Are they going to put him on the exempt list? What do you think?
I don't know about that, but I know that rape riddle is synced up with the Super Bowl, just like how the rape story out of Virginia was synced up with the college basketball championship, which Virginia won. So, yeah.
Well, the sources are they're not going to put him on the exempt list. So it seems like it's a little biased, the NFL, when it comes to who they want to put on the exempt list.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, that's all I got.
All right. Appreciate it, Izzy. Thanks, man.
All right. Bye.
See. Okay, so this White Sox and Mariners game, again, Covey can become 1-9 for the season. Seattle's 19 in the most pure cipher. The Mariners have the date numerology on their side. In Kikuchi, at the beginning of the season, his father was murdered 79 days from his birthday. His name equals 79. Chicago White Sox is 79. He can improve to 7-9. I got to assume that's what's going to happen. And then it's Orange Friday. The Giants seem to, almost always do well on Orange Friday. Tyler Beede can become 5-9 for the season. Miami Marlins is 59 in the most pure cipher. Caller?
Yeah, what's going on, Zach? It's Chris.
What's up, Chris?
Hey, the baseball game's pretty tight today, but I'm liking some of your picks though.
Yeah.
I'm liking the Mariners. I'm liking the Reds. I'm liking the Padres. I'm liking the Twins because they had on the odds, they had the Indians the favorite, but now it's even now. So, Twins probably got a shot to win that game today.
Uh-huh.
And I like the Rays too to beat the Angels. Cause Mike Trout is I think he just came back from a foot injury, and then Witchcomb is out for the season.
Okay.
What's his name? The pitcher from Japan. I mean, he was a pitcher, then he became. They put him as a DH as a batter. He out for the season.
Oshani?
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
His name Overlendi or something like that.
I thought it was Oshani. He's like the modern day Babe Ruth.
Oshani, yeah, he out for the season. So I guess that takes a huge blow in they batting order. So
Right.
And I like the Rays because the Rays been putting up a lot of. The last series when they was facing the Rays, they've been putting up a lot of runs. So I like the Rays too, and then I like you said the Astros and Royals. I mean, that is a little tough, but I like the over in that game because the Astros been putting up a lot of runs lately.
There you go.
And you hear about the story about Memphis Patrick, the Dolphins safety. Say he unhappy. He unhappy with what the Dolphins put him in different positions and stuff. He say he's seeking a trade.
Huh.
Yeah, so that might be another clue.
Okay, hey, I just wanted to say out of the games, you didn't like the Giants. The Giants do well on Friday, plus their pitcher can become 5-9 with a win, and Miami Marlins is 59.
The problem I have with the Giants, man, is when I put money on them, man, they can't hold a lead. When that Pittsburgh series, that Jones, I got mad, man, because I said they had to lead 2-5 in the last.
No, it was 5-0. It was 5-0 with 2 outs, and they gave up 4 runs.
That's the only thing I hate. That's the only thing I don't like about the Giants, man. When I put money on them, they can't hold the lead.
I hear you.
That's stuff crazy, man.
Yeah, that's the money line thing, but
that's the money line. Even with money line, they still they end up blowing the lead because I remember 2 of those times they could have beat Pittsburgh in 2 of those games, and they let Pittsburgh hit all them runs in the late.
Yeah.
And I think, oh man, it's not realistic, man.
Right.
The Spurs can't hold on to a lead.
Right. Yeah, I hear you, man.
It's pretty. The game's pretty tight. Some of the game's pretty tight. I was liking the Orioles, man, but I don't know about that game. I don't usually bet on the Orioles like that. If I see something real strong about the Orioles, but
they got the date numerology and the pitcher riddle today. The O's.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if the Marlins lose 2 out of 3, they'll get to 97 losses, the 25th prime, and that 25 always shows up with San Francisco. If you ever bet on series.
Yeah, but every time I try to bet on the series, they don't allow me to parlay the series. They always say this highlight parlay is not available or something. So I don't know why they don't let on the website I use to bet the sports bet and Lord John. They don't let me do the series John like that.
I see.
I don't know why, but and I like Boston College -21 today too against Kansas. You know Kansas got Les Miles as the coach.
Right.
And Boston College equals. Dang, what ball? I know Houston Cougars equals 74, but I know Boston College equals 54 for today's over. Cause I think the over is 53, 54. I think.
All right. Well, good observations. I'm about to jump into college football right here. That's what's next.
All right, thanks, Zach.
All right. Welcome. All right. Take care. All right, I'm posting the MLB notes so you guys can go over these with your own eyeballs here. Friday, September 13, 2019. And, whoops. Let me get this fixed here. So this should be up at the top of the Patreon page. And with that said, we will jump into college football. And then I'm going to try to do this quick because I want to get the Friday night picks out like we did last week. And then we'll have our big football discussion tomorrow. And I'm also entertaining one of the truth seekers who's normally listening in the audio stream because he was all planned to go to Philadelphia to see me speak, which was supposed to happen today. But as you know, I got booted out of that event. So anyway, he really wanted to hang out. I said, well, how about you come see me, man? So that's what we're doing. All right, let's see, what do we got besides the Washington State-Houston game? We got 3 games. All right, let's do these 3 games real quick. I'm going to make a post for these 3 games. One of them's close. The North Carolina Wake Forest game. Well, the Houston Washington State game's not too big. All right, let's see here. All right, let me make a post. Oops. Whoop, hitting all the wrong buttons. You guys see another football player got killed on September 11th, a 38-year-old for the former Bengal player. 2 football-related deaths on September 11th. One was a Brown who used to play for the Bengals, and then the other one was a former Bengal. Ohio, the birthplace of football. All right, let's see. All right, so let's get the information here. North Carolina football coach Mac Brown. All right, Mac Brown. All right. He is 71, 46, and 1. All right, let's do this one. UNC coaches. So his next win is, never mind. 71, 46, and 1. And then get his all-time record, 240. So his next win's 241, the 53rd prime, big football number. 241, 17, and 1. All right. Oh, I see. So he coached North Carolina back in '97, and then he rejoined them 22 years later. That's funny. He's 2-0 this season. All right, hold up. Hold up. All right, so that's that. And let's get the Wake Forest coach. Dave Clawson. Dave Clawson. All right, let's see. Wake Forest coach. 62 and 67 overall. And he is 30 and 35 with Wake Forest. So I know North Carolina has that 67 connection. So I'm thinking if he stayed at 67 losses, that would make some sense. I'm going to have to look more than that. North Carolina. All right, let me see. BB&T Field. Just jot these notes down. BB&T Field equals 33, 48, 61, 56. Winston-Salem, NC. Winston-Salem. Winston-Salem's 47. So I'm going to make a note about that. The UNC coach could get his 47th loss in Winston-Salem. Winston-Salem. North Carolina. All right, so you got this battle of North Carolina teams. And the Wake Forest coach could stay on 67 losses, so that would make sense. And the UNC coach picking up his 47th loss in Winston-Salem makes sense. Caller?
Hey, Zach. I'm calling on that Washington and Braves series.
Okay.
If Washington wins that, if the Braves win that game, they'll be 10-7 on the year. Washington Nationals 107.
10-7 in the head-to-head?
Correct.
All right, I got to go back and look at that. I don't know how I overlooked that one. Let me check that out.
Yeah, it's always hitting with the Nationals. You know that.
Right. I gotta go back and see that. How did I catch that?
And on that Twins game, you've been saying the Twins, the 25th away win, they're going to get the 25th away loss. That's what they're in line for.
Hold on. Is that right? Am I dyslexic today? Let me see.
We all have those days, man.
Yeah, no, it does happen when you're looking at a bunch of numbers. Let me see. Man. Yeah, that makes a difference right there.
Yeah.
All right, appreciate that. Thank you. All right, I got to go update those notes. Thanks, man. Let me double check that real quick, too. So that means the 25 could go either way real quick. Caller?
Hey, Zach, this is me, Linwood, man.
What's up, man?
I know you're doing the North Carolina game right now, and North Carolina Wake Forest game.
Right.
And I tell you, this game kind of crazy because this team in North Carolina, both in North Carolina, correct?
Right, both North Carolina teams, right.
Okay, can I tell you what I got so far, if you don't mind?
Please do.
Okay, I did let me see, I'm organized now. Wake Forest, Demon Dinkins, they 359. And North Carolina career record is 358. They could be 359 right like that. And let me see. And the Tall Hills is 259 and the 72 prime. Correct?
259 is the what prime number?
72 prime.
Let me check it. I don't know that off the top of my head. You're probably right though. I'm sure you did. You've been doing good work. Wait, 259? No, I don't see that as a prime number.
259 is the not 72 prime?
I don't think 259 is prime, no.
I might get it wrong then.
Yeah, that one's not prime. Yes, okay.
Okay. I think I did. I probably made a mistake on that one.
Yeah, it's okay, but yeah, 259 is not prime. I just double checked it.
Okay, what about Dave Clawson? Dave Clawson is a 119. You see the coach for Wake Forest coach?
Let me see. Let me get it back up here. So he's 62 and 67 overall. That's where he can stay on that 67 because North Carolina is 67. And then with Wake Forest, he's 30 and 35.
Yeah, but I pushed in the coach name too, though. Dave Clawson.
Oh, to get the gematria of it. Okay. I
got 119.
You're going thorough with it.
119 came up.
Yeah, you're right. There is a 119. There's also a 61, like the date numerology is 61. So
who you like this game? Who you think you like this game?
Oh well, I'm still working on it right now. I haven't made my call yet, but so far from what I've seen, I like that the UNC coach can get his 47th loss in Winston-Salem because that's 47, and then I like that the Wake Forest coach can stay on 67 losses. But I'm going to look at the head-to-head here. The over/under's at 65.5. I wonder if you get a score of 67 points. So.
Oh yeah. Before I leave you, the home stadium called is Training Stadium, and I got 68 on that. Training Stadium 68.
BB&T Field, where they play?
Yeah, I thought it is Training Stadium. Wake Forest play.
Well, maybe that's the old name. They got it as BB&T Field today. BB.
Oh, so they got new. I probably look at it old then.
Yeah, I think the new one's BB&T Field. So that equals 33, 48, 60, 156.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, I just do the more. I drive a lot. I have to stop and do a few things. It's okay. I keep on running.
Okay.
No problem. So keep doing good work, man. I listen to you there. No problem.
All right, you're doing great work. Keep it up. Thanks, man.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, see you. May, did you say food's gonna be ready in 10 minutes? Okay, I'll be. It's gonna take me a little bit longer. I'll come heat mine up, but I'll be there. Thank you. Okay. All right. So let's power through these college games. I got to look at the head-to-head here with these teams. North Carolina football head-to-head. Let's see if I can pull that up. Here we go. So let's see what it is with Wake Forest. Wow, North Carolina's on 67 wins versus Wake Forest right now. Isn't that perfect? We're staring at that number, then we find out that. North Carolina is 67, 32, and what? 32 and 2. It's going to be the 102nd game. North Carolina is 67, 32, and 2 versus Wake Forest. And the name of the stadium, that BB&T Field, which is the new name, is 33. So they could get their 33rd loss there. Again, eventually they're obviously going to get off the 67 wins, but just the way it lines up today, how the Wake Forest coach could stay at 67 losses, they could stay at 67 wins. UNC coach can get the 47th loss in Winston-Salem. Let me see. How do you spell Demon Deacons? Demon Deacons. Forest. Demon Deacons. Wake Forest. Okay. What about Tar Heels? Tar Heels is 47-2, so there's an overlap with that. Let's see. Caller?
Hey, I'm sorry to call you back. The mistake I made is Wake Forest Demon Deacons is 359. That's something prime.
Oh, that's the prime number.
Wait. Yeah. I did 259. Really, 359. It's something prime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. And the UNC coach could get his 72nd win.
Yeah.
All right, that's a good observation.
Yeah, I just let you know I made a mistake. I should put 3. I put 2 by mistake. It should be 359, and 359 is 72 prime. I got it from Wake Forest Demon Deacons. So
you're right on about that. That is right.
Okay, no problem. I just let you know. I mean, I saw something that I should have knew. No problem, man.
Yeah, that's a really great observation, though. You might have found the winning observation there. Yep. Good work.
All right, thanks, sir.
All right, take care.
All right.
All right, let's see. Okay, So that is a really good observation. Wake Forest Demon Deacons is 359, the 72nd prime, and his next win with UNC is 72. His next win's also 241, the 53rd prime. Winston-Salem MC. 42 up here. Here we're gonna have to look at the schedule for what's coming. Let me see. Schedule and results. All right, Wake Forest plays Elon next week. Who is Elon? Elon Phoenix. Let me see. Elon Phoenix. You know what, you guys? I'm going to take a little break. My lady does want me to come eat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this decode. I'm going to go through all the things, and then I'm going to post it on the Patreon page with all the notes for the games. See if we can get some good, clean reads here. So look for that post in, I would say, in less than an hour. I'm going to eat something real quick and then come back, put out the post, and should be on later today with the NFL. We got a caller here real quick. Caller?
Hey, Zach, how are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. Calling from the capital of, it seems like, all the chaos going on in Dayton, Ohio.
Sure.
Long time listener. I've been with you since like channel number 1, by the way. It's been a little bit since I talked to you. I have a question about the 49er Bengal game this week.
Okay.
I was wondering, because there's a lot of history between the 49ers and Bengals, and a lot of it has to do with Paul Brown, the old owner and founder of the Bengals and old Browns coach, and more importantly, Bill Walsh. I was wondering if, because Bill Walsh was actually assistant under Paul Brown, and Paul Brown kind of cock-blocked him back in the, I guess you would call it the early 80s, and that's how he ended up becoming the 49er coach. And then, of course, 2 of the 49ers Super Bowls in the 80s, were against the Bengals, which, you know, how ironic when you think about it now, you know.
Right. Right.
And I was just wondering if you could do, I guess I could as well, but you know, I'm not as good as you with the numbers as far as for Bill Walsh's, you know, birthday or to the day or something like that. I was wondering if you could do a small decode for me.
Well, I'm going to do all those football games, so yeah, I absolutely will.
Okay, I definitely appreciate it. And one of the things I have to say, as far as last night that I was paying attention to as well, was that big riddle with the 8 straight losses, like with Jam, that really stuck out to me. Because 19 is a prime number. And, I mean, when you see some of those passes, I mean, you would think that Cam, you know, forgot how to play football. I mean, it's just been amazing.
Well, you got to, exactly. He's been getting humiliated ever since he went to the Super Bowl, and he got humiliated in that game, too. He had to stare at the football down on his shoelaces like he didn't know what it was. But, yeah, 2 weeks in a row, he's throwing the ball right to the defender. I mean, like, that was his target. And then you saw what he did last night. He threw the interception. They called a penalty, so they got to go again. And then he fumbles the ball like the next play or 2 plays later. So you can see that the script is in. And I mean, just also at the end, I mean, I really do hate pro sports, man. I mean, you got the biggest quarterback in the league, a guy who's sure to be able to gain, you know, a foot, which is all they need for the first down to secure a whole new set of downs and punch the ball in the end zone with over a minute left and a timeout. So it's just a joke, man.
It is, I'll say this to you. As somebody who's pretty much watched Cam, well, at least his whole college IMSA pro career, because I remember he was Tim Tebow's backup, which is weird when you think about it. Florida, it's weird because he used to run so much, and I mean, I think he may be right at 30 or something like that, so I know he isn't too old. But I mean, the fact that this guy was a first down machine, all the way up, it seems like until the Super Bowl year, and then after that, like you said, he's been humiliated. Like, so you can't run for a first down. Like, they're not having you run for a first down.
Right.
It's amazing, but I do feel, and I mean, I want to say this with a disclaimer that I'm a black man myself, so even though I may sound otherwise, but I've noticed over the years, and me and a buddy of mine have like a running kind of ad-lib joke that if you're like completely dark skinned black, I guess you could say, if you're dark skinned black, you don't necessarily do as well moving forward as a quarterback in particular, I'll preface myself, than you do if you're like, mixed, like a Dak Prescott or a Patrick Mahomes, or
Sure.
There's a few other guys I'm going forward. Like Watson, he's having some luck, but of course, they humiliate him by getting sacked a million times, and of course, obviously, he had college success, him and Cam did, but it feels like you have college success as a running quarterback, but by the time you become a pro, they feel like they have to humble you enough. And then with a Dak Prescott who, dinks and dunks, and then Mahomes who probably, I don't want to say has the most time out of everybody, but as you said before as well with a lot of these guys, he's definitely born and bred to be. I mean, his mom was like a former athlete in college and stuff like that, and his dad is a freaking baseball player, and he used to hang out around stars when he was younger, and just like Steph Curry and those guys, you can definitely tell the difference between a guy who isn't necessarily as talented or kind of getting put in the spotlight after the fact, and a guy who like Mahomes, you can tell definitely from the day he was born, just like LeBron. Hey, you're the next guy. You know what I mean?
Right. Indeed.
I was going to say one last thing too. As far as Rashawn Watson is concerned, I don't know if you know, but way back in the day, and I remember this in real time. His mom and dad, or his mom, excuse me, had got one of those Habitat for Humanity homes from Ward Dunn. And, of course, back then you don't really think about it, but I remember, obviously years later they did like a touch-up of that story, and it just got me thinking, like, man, they really do kind of like scope and pick these guys out. Because it's like out of any kid in the, I think, Georgia area, who would think that an all-pro running back would pick you and then say, hey, stay in school, stay in sports, kid, you'll be somebody. And then 10 years later, he's, a starting quarterback in the National Football League. So I just want to mention that to you, if you ever heard that story, but it just goes to what you said, that this stuff is literally to a T, it's amazing. And you have a great day, man.
Appreciate it, man. Great points.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Have a good one.
All right, you guys, I am going to wrap it up. Keep the sweet lady happy. We put in some good work. We've had a great week. I'm going to be back with those football notes and also with the NFL notes tonight. And I got to entertain our friend here. So appreciate all of you guys, and have a great rest of your day. Till next time.